Mega Raichu Y looks like it could be really strong, but it only just came out this week, so in order to figure out if it actually is strong, I need to enter a tournament. The team I'm using starts with Raichu. When it Mega Evolves to Mega Raichu Y, it gets the ability No Guard. I have used No Guard before, but only to enable one-hit KOs like funny strategies, but there's no funny business here. Raichu learns 2 super strong attacks you would normally never use because they can miss, but No Guard means that they will never miss. That's Focus Blast, which is a powerful coverage move, but is only 70% accurate, and Zap Cannon. Zap Cannon is basically never seen because although it is extremely powerful and it always paralyzes, it also only hits 50% of the time. On Raichu though, that's 100% of the time. A move this strong with a guaranteed secondary effect that has no drawback is kind of unheard of, so I'm optimistic about Raichu. I'm also going to use Fake Out on Raichu because I have a setup Pokemon on my team that I want to protect, and that's Goldengo. Goldengo only just became tournament legal this week alongside Mega Raichu. However, things are not looking great for Goldengo, because although it is true that it was one of the strongest Pokemon for the duration of Scarlet and Violet, it is also true that they heavily nerfed it. Specifically, its signature move Make It Rain now only has 95% accuracy on each of the opponent's Pokemon, which wouldn't be that big a deal on its own, but they also changed the move so that instead of dropping your special attack by 1 stage whenever it hits, it now drops it by 2. That is a pretty big deal. So I want to try it out and see if it's still playable, because that's a pretty big nerf. I'm using a Nasty Plot Life Orb set here with actually a fair bit of bulk. The reason I'm running so much bulk is partially because Raichu can paralyze opponents, meaning I don't need as much speed, but it's also because I have Whimsicott on this team. Whimsicott's just using a standard set here with Tailwind and the Focus Sash. With its Prankster ability, Tailwind will always go first, and will double my team's speed for the next 4 turns. Whimsicott's also nice here because both Raichu and Goldengo will reach to Garchomp, and because Whimsicott is a fairy type and learns the move Moonblast, it's threatening to Garchomp. Speaking of Garchomp, I have Garchomp on this team as well. Charizard was the best Mega Evolution in the last format, and although Raichu does beat it, I want to have a little bit of extra insurance. Garchomp is like the best standard Pokemon against Charizard. 2 slots left now. I'm going to add Basculegion, which is actually a Pokemon that I haven't used very much, despite being one of the strongest Pokemon in the game. I'm running a Mystic Water set here, which boosts the power of its Water-type moves. The idea here is similar to Goldengo, where Basculegion is kind of a middling speed tier, and so it benefits a lot from both Tailwind and the paralysis from Zap Cannon. Because I have the speed support, I can afford to run a little bit more bulk as well. Basculegion is already naturally quite tanky, so this is good synergy. The last Pokemon on the team I'm adding is Mega Floette. It's another Pokemon I really haven't used all that much, but it is very, very strong. I figure there's some matchups where Raichu's just not going to be very strong, and so I'd like a different Mega Evolution. And Floette also just outputs a ton of damage, works well with Whimsicott because it takes advantage of Tailwind, and its ability Fairy Aura boosts the power of Whimsicott's fairy moves, and it's just overall a strong Pokemon to put on my team. I think this team can be strong, but it is worth noting that the format was announced about 24 hours before I started building this team. So I really have no idea how this tournament is going to go. I wasn't able to test extensively. If you'd like me to do a similar tournament run with Mega Raichu X, make sure you subscribe. For now though, let's see if the theory behind this team can actually hold up. Okay folks, I am here with round 1. Because this is the first round, here is the team's rental code if you'd like to use it for yourself. Replica code, here are the stats. With my big head out of the way. But yeah, okay, so round 1 already, we're playing against 2 of the new Megas. My opponent has some similar Pokemon to ours. They have both Whimsicott and Basculegion. They also have Mega Staraptor though. And it's a bit scary because the Whimsicott is Charm. So they can actually, Mega Staraptor is the contrary ability that allows them to double their Staraptor's attack set if they use it on themselves. And they also have Mega Metagross, which is a Pokemon that I don't have a lot of experience playing against. So we'll have to see how it goes. I'm gonna get the room set up here, but yeah, let's jump into it. Oh yeah, how does the tournament actually work? So there's 7 rounds, and at the end of them, the 8 players with the best records will advance to top cut. This means that winning 6 rounds means you're mostly safe, but it is possible that some players who win 6 games will actually end up missing. And the reason for that is because this tournament is actually quite popular. In fact, over 300 people signed up. So the goal is to win all 7 of my rounds today, but 6 is probably safe. Okay. So here's the thing that I'm going to say about this. At first glance, and I could be wrong, but at first glance, my Raichu looks very good here. Very, very good here. The Basculegion, they do have 3 Pokemon that are pretty good into it, but they also have 3 Pokemon that Raichu is very strong against. So I do think I'm going to want to bring Raichu here. The question is, what do I want to pair with it? I'm kind of inclined to go Goldengo, though I will be slower than this Basculegion, but I think that what this allows me to do is go for like Fake Out, Make It Rain. I do need to watch out this Metagross. Oh, it doesn't have Stomping Tantrum. It has Psychic Fangs, Meteor Mash, Protect, and Body Press, meaning it should not be able to KO my Raichu in 1 hit. I hope. God, I have no idea. I haven't played against these Pokemon much before. Let's do Whimsicott in the back, I think. And then the last Pokemon, we do need to watch out for their Basculegion. That is certainly concerning. I'm not bringing Floette in game 1 because I want to bring Raichu. Why don't we bring our own Basket Legion here? That gives us a little bit more speed control. But I think this is a pretty straightforward game plan. I don't know if it'll work, but yeah, Raichu looks pretty strong here. Staraptor's Adamant, which I believe it's based, I think both these mons are base 110. So I actually should have made my Raichu a little bit faster. I forgot that all these Pokemon were 110, but yeah. Let's go ahead and see here. It is Metagross and Grimmsnarl in the lead. So I think this is overall quite favorable for me. I'm allowed to go for Fake Out plus, I can actually Mega Evolve here and go for Fake Out into Metagross and Nasty Plot. And it's not super easy for them to punish this. I initially had Volt Switch on Raichu, which I think is kind of the default. But as I'm playing more with Raichu, I'm learning that Fake Out is actually quite good, at least on this team, because of situations like this, because a lot of people I think are not leading Pokemon that can threaten Gholdengo immediately and can threaten Gholdengo and also are not threatened by Raichu. So here's the Mega. We are going to Mega Evolve first here. I don't see a reason to delay here. The only reason to delay is to keep access to a Lightning Rod, but we don't need that for this matchup. Look at how cute he is. Look at how cute this little Raichu is. Okay, they do Mega Evolve. Not cute. Not cool. If they don't protect here, I have the ability to just Zap Cannon Shadow Ball and clear this thing off the board. Yeah, I expect this to be Light Screen here. They don't protect, so here's Fake Out. That's great for us. We're gonna do, I mean, 3% probably isn't the difference maker, let's be honest. Oh wait, they really can't damage my, they're really not able to damage my Gholdengo very easily with this Metagross because it doesn't have a ground move. Yeah, so I'm gonna go for Nasty Plot here. And now I have a choice to make. I can either go for Zap Cannon Shadow Ball and try and clear the Metagross immediately, or I can predict this Grimmsnarl to switch out here. Let's see what else they have on this team. Why don't I hedge? Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm actually gonna hedge a little bit. So I'm gonna Zap Cannon the Metagross, and I'm gonna Shadow Ball into the Grimmsnarl, because I think they probably wanna go for Parting Shot here. This might be a little bit ambitious, but if I get it right, I'll win the game. They go for Parting Shot, so I could have just wiped the Metagross off the board, but I feel like this is still a good play for me, right? There's actually no Pokemon on this team barring Staraptor who can come in here and take a Shadow Ball very well. I expect this to be, God, I guess it has to be Whimsicott. It's finished actually, so they're going back to full HP, but I'm gonna get the KO here, so I think it's actually not so good for them, right? Zap Cannon's not gonna do that much between the Parting Shot and the Light Screen, but I'm not using it for damage. I'm actually using it here for paralysis, and actually, I mean, I'll take a quarter of Mega Metagross at -1 through Light Screen. That's pretty good. And of course I could have wiped the Metagross off the board, but I was worried about Basket Legion coming in and kind of my positioning getting awkward. So Sinistcha's gonna go down here. That's a clean one hit KO. Metagross, I mean, first of all, it has a 1 in 8 chance to not attack at all, but even if it does attack, oh man, it's some damage. It shouldn't be able to get a KO here, I don't think. Again, I'm not so, is this boosted? My God, is that a strong Pokemon? Yeah, I wonder if this thing is actually like physically bulky. But I mean, now it's in huge danger, right? Like it's paralyzed, so it's slower than Gholdengo. The only way to get around that is to go into something like Whimsicott and go for a Tailwind, but then things continue to be awkward here. So they're thinking about it. Grimmsnarl cannot come in here, I don't think. It's just too much of a liability into what I have on the board. And can't really do enough very quickly. It is Grimmsnarl. So what do I want to do here? I have Shadow Ball available. I also have Make It Rain, which would just get the KO. I kind of want to go for Protect plus Shadow Ball here, I think. What do y'all think here? He's talking to nobody. Nurse, he's not talking to anybody. I mean, the last one's probably Basket Legion, right? Based on how they're playing this. The danger here is that they go for Protect plus Spirit Break into Gholdengo, but I don't know if they're going to do that. I'm going to Shadow Ball the Metagross. Here's Protect from Raichu. Even if Metagross protects, it could get paralyzed. This is the danger of Zap Cannon, is that, okay, they do protect, yeah. Okay, so in the worst case, they read this and they go for Spirit Break into my Gholdengo, but I think I should be okay still. Maybe I should pull up a damage calculation and see if I'm gonna get the Metagross. They do Spirit Break, but it's what I thought, which is into Raichu. So I have KO pressure now. I don't think that Make It Rain and Zap Cannon together will KO. So I have to make a choice here. Do I let Raichu go down and preserve my Focus Sash? I think I do. I think I Zap Cannon here and I Shadow Ball here. I don't love to lose my Raichu here, but I think that in the long run, preserving my Focus Sash is more important. They go for Reflect, actually, so Raichu's going to make it through the turn. They do wisely set up Reflect. This Grimmsnarl has Light Clay, so that means they're going to be around for forever. Zap Cannon comes out, though. Grimmsnarl actually is taking 32% through the Parting Shot drop and through the Light Screen. I don't think Metagross is surviving the Shadow Ball. I would be incredibly surprised. Metagross does not survive the Shadow Ball, goes down, and Gholdengo takes another KO. So, I mean, they nerfed Make It Rain, but everything else about Gholdengo is still very powerful. And if you don't have the tools to handle it, you're going to have a bad time. I'm fairly certain. So here, I expect this to be Basket Legion, though it could be, okay, this is Basket Legion. They are Jolly Nature. We're playing with open natures here. 4 turns of Light Screen and 7 turns of Reflect left. I think I should always Zap Cannon the Basket Legion. And you know what? I'm kind of down to just click Make It Rain here to cover for Protect. I'll go back to neutral, but because I have Whimsicott in the back, I think I'm going to be able to win this, even if something goes wrong here. I expect them to go for Aqua Jet into my Raichu. Oh, they actually go for Parting Shot, so they're dropping me again. So their Basket Legion will take the Zap Cannon quite well. But they let me get it off. So, I mean, it's going to do still about half. My God, that's a lot of damage. I don't know if Basket Legion, even with the Light Screen up, I'm not sure it's taking Make It Rain here. We'll have to see. It is Light Screen. It is not very effective. Make It Rain comes out, hits both. That should be the end of Grimmsnarl. Does Basket Legion survive? It does not. Goldango takes 4 KOs in 4 turns. Well, okay, to be fair though, like, yeah, it was a dominant win, but it's also like because they had Grimmsnarl, and you can just see Grimmsnarl against the fake out lead is just not good. I expect them to make this a lot more challenging in the second game, but yeah, that was pretty dominant. I'm very happy with how Raichu worked there. You see there as well, it walks the line between support and offense, right? Zap Cannon did good damage, but getting their paralyses down was also just very effective in that match. So yeah, overall, you can see that Raichu is an interesting Pokemon in part because of the damage threat, right? Because it has this interesting line where it's one of the few Pokemon capable of doing lots of damage with Zap Cannon, but also capable of having some utility with Fake Out and the paralysis. So yeah, let's see how they adjust for game 2. I wonder if they'll bring Staraptor. The thing about Staraptor is it's actually somehow worse, and I guess it's about the same into my Goldango, but it's also kind of suspect into Raichu. So yeah, Goldango plus Raichu I think is a pretty reasonable lead here. I think let's just do the same Pokemon again. I don't really see a reason to pivot. Goldango, I think, is a very strong focal point here. It hits, well, they have Triple Ghost, so it hits those 3 for super effective. Triple Ghost, Double Fairy, so it hits 5 mons for super effective. The only mon it doesn't threaten offensively is the Staraptor, who it's like matches up well into because of its type matchup. So I think we can just run it back and see what they're gonna do against it. I do think that Basculegion Whimsicott is a strong closer here as well. So yeah, Shadow Ball into the Grimmsnarl was pretty good. I'll have to keep in mind that I might not be able to get away with that again, but also yeah, if they lead Grimmsnarl, they're already kind of starting on the back foot in my opinion. So let's see how they adjust. Okay, here we go. Game 2, baby. Whimsicott Staraptor. Okay, so immediately I have a choice to make. Okay, immediately I have a choice because I can clear this Whimsicott right here, right now if I want. I'm kind of inclined to go Mega Evolve Fake Out here and just Nasty Plot. This will allow the Staraptor to survive, which is not great for me because I don't want to go down to -2 with like no answer, right? I would have liked to break the Focus Sash. Yeah, this is a much more threatening lead because they can go for Charm now. You're gonna Mega Evolve. I think this is a game where I should save Raichu because I might have to switch Whimsicott in now. Let's see if they go for Charm or if they go for Tailwind. They're both viable. Yeah, the main weakness, oh, I could have Fake Out of the Whimsicott. Oh, if I went for the play I wanted, I would have won the game in the spot. Okay, they're going for Tailwind, that's fine. The thing here is that, go for Tailwind, okay. This is a bit tricky. I mean, honestly, they don't even Make It Rain that well. The thing here is that they are very threatening, but they can only attack one of my Pokemon. Should I go into Basculegion and potentially give up the speed advantage, or should I go into Whimsicott? Why don't we go Whimsicott here? No, I think I need to go into Basque because they could read my switch, right? So I'm gonna go Basque and click Make It Rain, and this gives me Aqua Jet pressure on the following turn. I'm gonna drop my special attack back exactly down to where it was before, but I think that getting the damage off from Make It Rain is really worth it for me. Oh, actually, okay, I didn't even realize I was doing this. This is a very clever play. They cannot boost their defenses because I'm gonna have 2 ghost types on the field. They cannot use close combat to raise both of their defense stats. And because of that, Make It Rain will actually get the 1 shot as long as I hit the 95% accurate move. But yeah, by bringing in Basculegion here, it doesn't actually matter if they go for close combat. They go for Charm into their own Staraptor, doubling its attack here. You see the interaction here between Contrary and Charm, which normally drop stats, but they go for Brave Bird into Goldango. Okay, so they're going for big damage here. I'm gonna take a lot from this, but my Goldango is exceptionally bulky. Which is quite nice here in this specific instance as I go for Make It Rain and I hit both. The thing is though, this is not over. This is not even close to over because I do have to contend with this Whimsicott who is still quite annoying. I think that the way I'm gonna win this is via the, oh, what if their last one is Basculegion? And sorry, I'm thinking they have Basculegion in the back. I'm also worried about Sinistcha. Make It Rain is really nice here, dropping them back down to 1 HP and taking out Staraptor in 1. As we do go back to neutral special attack, I think Basculegion has to come in here. Okay, so now what? Now I have a choice to make. I have Aqua Jet pressure on their Whimsicott, but the real threat here is honestly their Basculegion. So I'm inclined to go Last Respects and Shadow Ball here. They have 2 turns left of Tailwind. I'm gonna accept that they're gonna KO them on, and I'm gonna try and get the Basculegion with the other. Now, the way that this backfires is if they protect and switch to Sinistcha, then things can start to get a bit dicey, I think. It is Charm. I didn't even think about that. They totally got me. Charm cutting my attack in half as they're gonna go presumably for KO. Ooh, hold on a second, folks. We are suddenly in quite a bit of trouble. That is not good at all. Okay, we're kind of in danger now. Ooh, that's not good. Okay, they are life forms. So the good news is that they will take recoil over time, but the problem is that, man, that was a good move. I'm the best. Oh, I didn't crit. Oh, I'm just strong? Oh, I am the best, but not because not in the way that I thought. Okay. Now we're in really good shape. So now, but our last Pokemon is probably Sinistcha, right? I want to go for Tailwind, but what if I go Aqua Jet here and Moonblast here? Because they could heal themselves out of range of Aqua Jet, right? What are my other options? They gotta have like no turns of Tailwind left, right? Let's Aqua Jet and Moonblast. Yeah, we just need to kill this Basculegion because then I should be able to win. Oh, unless they KO my Basculegion. Sorry, I feel like I'm all over the place. Okay, they didn't bring Sinistcha. Maybe they don't have Sinistcha, but that would mean their last moment had to be either Metagross or Grimmsnarl, which would be surprising. Here's Last Respects. They're going to bring me down to my Sash, but that's quite all right. Whimsicott goes down to Focus Sash. Totally fine here because Moonblast is going to take the KO. Yeah. Oh, yeah, never mind. I'm so like not used to life form. I totally forgot. It is Sinistcha, so they could have tried to save themselves, but I guess they predicted me to go for the Moonblast there, so didn't really matter. Let's just go ahead and switch in here. And the Sinistcha, it has Strength Sap, so I have to be a little bit careful here. Why don't we just Moonblast? There's no point Tailwinding, right? Yeah, let's just Moonblast. We can go for Zap Cannon next turn. And now that we've reset the attack drops, Basculation should get the KO here. There's Citrus Berry, so I don't have to worry about that. Let's see here. I bet Magikarp actually will do a lot to Raichu, but Moonblast is gonna come out first. Should do like 30%. Did that? I had to crit. Yeah, okay. I was like, wait a second. They're gonna activate their Citrus Berry now. Actually, will cause them to end the turn with more HP than they would have had otherwise. Magikarp connects, but this is kind of a foregone conclusion. We'll do a lot to Raichu. Actually, Raichu takes that pretty well. Might get the burn here, but it doesn't really matter. They crit back. That was a little bit less impactful. They crit burn on Magikarp. It hits both. But I think it's all kind of a moot point because this Sinistcha is in range of Last Respects, and even if it weren't, it also has to deal with Zap Cannon first, so even if it's the fastest Sinistcha of all time, Raichu's on the field, Raichu will be able to attack first, go for a Zap Cannon, ensure that this thing is definitely in range of Last Respects, so I think it was anyway, and we can end the game here. So yeah, and that's going to be the first set, my first tournament set with Mega Raichu. I mean, it felt pretty good to me. Obviously, Goldengo was pretty good in this specific matchup, but the support that Raichu offered allowed Goldengo to set up, and then like especially in the first game, really cleared the way for it to win. So I'm pretty happy with how this felt for the first set, and we'll have to see if we're able to keep it up moving forward in the tournament. So yeah, I'll see you all in round number 2. Okay, so the situation is not great for me, which is that I'm playing against a player who is notorious for using the hard Trick Room strategy, and they have gotten quite a few results with this hard Trick Room strategy. And looking at the matchup, I kind of have nothing. Like my team is a Tailwind team with like a couple of tools against Trick Room, and yeah, like it does not look, well, it doesn't look good. It doesn't look good for me. So I'll do my best here, but I kind of have not a ton of expectations here. This team is using dual megas with Mawile and Pyroar, but the Torkoal, yeah, it looks very difficult. So we'll do our best, but I don't know how easy it's gonna be to win this one. So I think that probably this is a matchup where Garchomp has to be very good. I don't know if I like Raichu or Floette here. I think what I want to do here is I want to do Basculation Garchomp lead. I don't imagine that Mega Pyroar gets the kill with Solar Beam into my Basculation. I could be wrong about that though. I'm screwed. Oh, I'm so screwed. Oh wait, they also have Incineroar. Yeah, I don't really know what I'm supposed to do here. I mean, I don't have any good Pokemon, right? None of my Pokemon look very good here. I think my game plan has to be Floette, especially bulky. Does that count for anything? It's towards the end of the Mawile. I think the plan is to try and use, this is not gonna work. This is not gonna work. I think I need to try and use my leads to stall as much as possible, and then maybe, like if I can just waste 3 turns of the leads before they go down. That seems really hard. Let's try these. The thing is that this team has a strong out of Tricker mode because it is Pyro plus Torkoal. There's no way I win this. There's just no way. Okay, Incineroar Mawile are the lead, so it's actually could be worse in terms of the start here. Do you think I died a Sucker Punch from the Mawile? My Basculation? The Mawile in the lead is not awful. I don't think they're gonna Swords Dance. Is that foolish? Perhaps. Why don't we Wave Crash here and Stomping Tantrum? Just get damage on Mawile. They're gonna Mega Evolve. I think they might go for, like they probably will Fake out here. Oh wait, I'm -2, aren't I? Oh, I wasn't paying attention. Oh, that's not good. I'm in big trouble. Okay, I get damage down. I just need damage on this thing. I mean, I need more than damage to be honest. Oh, are they gonna go for, oh, they might clear both here. That'd be bad. They might go for Lariat, and I need a crit. That's a lot. Okay, that's good. I think I'm dead. I think this is Play Rough plus Lariat. That's Lariat. Oh, okay, I made the wrong play. And I died to that. I guess this is like max offense Incin. I'm so dead. Okay, here's Play Rough, I guess. Okay, Garchomp is dead. Ugh, that's not good. So, yeah, it's pretty tough. This is not a good matchup. Mawile is really hard for my team. Okay. Is it possible to win anymore? It honestly might be. I lost both my Mons, which is really bad. However, I do have the ability to get a KO here on both Mons if I want. How much do you think Moonblast, the Incineroar is charcoal, right? Or it's white herb, so it's probably not bulky. Let's say this is max HP Incin with no special bulk. So let's say I have Whimsicott and Fairy Aura. Moonblast will do 37%. That is not enough. How much will Floette do? Floette with Fairy Aura will not KO. So Mega Evolve Protect here and Moonblast here. We're gonna try and call out, this is not gonna work. There's no way. Like, it's so bad. It's so bad. Ideally, they like double the Float is kind of my hope. Like, I think that if I can get a free turn here and I can go for Gleam plus Moonblast on the following turn, it might be possible. Let's see if they go for Sucker Punch here. They do Sucker Punch, but into Whims to break the Sash. So the question is, did they double me? Because if they doubled me, it's legitimately over. I think they probably want to go after Float here, but I could be wrong about that. Here's Moonblast. 44%. That did more than I thought. Oh my god, I got destroyed. Yeah. Well, they're clearly not bulky, at least. Okay, sorry, I'm not close. This was just a total body bag. Yeah, I did forget about double Intimidate, but I don't know how much it mattered. They Sucker Punch. I might get both here. I should get both here. But I don't think it matters because, I mean, I am curious. I am hopeful that I can see what's in the back at least. This should KO. Okay, I got both. So it's not a 4-0 at least, but yeah, the matchup is really difficult. And they can just mix it up. Like, I don't think they're gonna lead this in game 2. I think they'll do something totally different. But yeah, it's really hard. Okay, let's see what's in the back here. I think it should be Frigg plus Torkoal. Frigg plus... The fairies are good here. Mousehold. Oh, hold on, it's winnable. Oh, I could have won. Wait, that's crazy. I didn't think about Mousehold. Population Barm, Charm, Follow Me. So I need them to miss. I need them to Giga miss. Mousehold is wide lens, so it has a 99% chance of hitting each individual population bomb, but 99% is not 100%. Okay, that's one. I need them to miss now. 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 I lost. Okay, but they didn't bring Torkoal, who I was worried about. So is that worth anything? Probably not. Like, what am I supposed to do into this Mawile? Nothing. I do feel like Float is in theory good here, but maybe I need Raichu for the early game. Shoot, this is pretty bad. So I think what I want to do here is I actually think I should lead Goldango. I think Goldango is actually, like, on paper, it's not so good here. I think I need to make a call about whether or not they're going to lead with Pyro. I don't think Whimsicott's doing anything for me. I think that, like, basically what I should try and do to win this is lead Goldango, try and catch them out with a lead that it doesn't like, because Whimsicott's not doing anything here, and I think Float is kind of a liability. So I think the idea, or one idea, is that if I get the Nasty Plot up early, then it's actually possible for me to really threaten Farigiraf, which is, I mean, good for me. And then I'll bring my Fire Resist in the back. Now, if he leads with Pyroar, I am going to lose the game for sure. But I think that given what I've been doing, like I led Basque plus Garchomp twice now. So I don't think that he wants to lead with Pyroar unless he's hard calling out that I'm switching to Goldango, which he could do. Mawile Frigg again. Okay, so they're running it back. So I have the ability to do a couple of things here. So I actually have offensive pressure here. So my options are, if they're not very bulky, I'm probably not getting the KO. I am threatening a KO on Mawile, but threatening a KO on Mawile doesn't actually do that much for me. I think what I'm supposed to do here is go for Make It Rain for damage and Mega Evolve and Zap Cannon here. Although I could try and clear Mawile, that would be okay as well. Well, they have Helping Hand. I don't think this is gonna work, but honestly, even if it doesn't work, like this gives me two chances to crit. They're bold Farigiraf, so they protect Mawile. So I mean, I didn't make the wrong play necessarily. I didn't necessarily make the right one either, but I do think that getting through this Farigiraf is probably in my best interest. I did 69% and I got the Para, so they're gonna be at 55. Goldango has a chance to KO here depending on their spread. Actually, a pretty good chance to KO, depending. Let's see here. If Mega Rain gets the KO, I'm just like full back in this game. Mega Rain comes out, it connects. Is it KO? That's pretty bad for me. That is not good for me. Maybe I get the full Para. I have a 1 in 8 chance of still being in it. Okay, that's pretty terrible. Because my only Fairy Resist is sitting on the field. So here they're going to go for, I mean, I'm just totally screwed, right? I guess what I should do here is actually maybe think about bringing in Basculegion. I'm just dead, right? There's just nothing I can do. I can hope for Play Rough Miss is maybe my best option here. Torkoal's going to come in and that's just going to be the end of my game. So how do I win this, right? Okay, the way that I win this is if I can get to an end game where I have enough Pokemon, like a second Trick Room is not going up here. Oh, it's instant actually. Okay. That's not so bad for me. You go for Mega Mawile. Oh, the last one might be Mousehold. They might not be bringing Torkoal. Okay. So it may be possible to win. Like it's looking pretty terrible, but I don't think that means it's like 100% over necessarily. So they go for Sucker or Swords Dance. They go for Play Rough. Okay, that's good. Getting some damage on the Mawile also really does matter. Here's Make It Rain. Damage on Incineroar also really matters. That's 36% to Mawile is really good. That's not a crit. Wow, it's just pretty strong because that's -2. I think I have to just play as if they're not going to read me because if they read me, it's just over. I'll go for Focus Blast here. I knew it, but I was too scared to make the read. Okay, now I think it's almost impossible to win. Yeah, it should be basically impossible to win here because I think my Raichu should die to this if they're maxed. Yeah, it's just so hard. It's such a difficult matchup. I don't think the crit mattered. If they're max attack, it definitely didn't matter. Yeah, I needed to make a prediction there. There's still 2 turns of Trick Room left. If Goldango gets a double, it might be possible. Although, honestly, my other question is, how much do you think Aqua Jet does to Incineroar? Because it's not like it has any bulk. It's not like Intimidate. Hang on, wait a second. It maybe, there's a slight chance I can, oh, I see a way to win. I see one very narrow path forward. Okay, if I get a nasty plot up, then Goldango might be able to turn this around. The thing is, they still have the Farigiraf alive. Okay, they're giving me a chance to do it. Like if I get an Aqua Jet KO here, then are they Sword Dancing this turn? That'd be crazy. Okay, they overplay rough. Interesting. I don't know if they realize that they're in range of Aqua Jet. I have to play as if they're giving it to me. They could switch to Farigiraf on this turn as well, which would just completely mess me up. So I'm gonna nasty plot and I'm gonna go for Aqua Jet. And if I get the KO here, then there's like a very narrow way where I can win this game too, basically, with Goldango. They need to stay in here and I need I need this to get the KO. Okay, hang on a second. I mean, I'm gonna be at +2. Wait, they didn't Sucker Punch. Oh, maybe I should have gone for the raw Make It Rain. I should live this. Okay, Basket Legion is very strong. But my Goldango is in range of Sucker Punch. I maybe should have gone for Make It Rain this turn. I think I should have gone for Make It Rain this turn, actually. It's gonna be really down to the wire. I could survive. I've taken 2 Life Orb ticks, so I'm at 80%. Mousehold comes out. Okay, so Mousehold's moves are Follow Me, Charm, and Population Bomb. In other words, if I get the KO with my Goldango, then I win the game. I could win this. One Make It Rain wins me the game because they can't damage me with Mousehold. I mean, eventually I'm gonna have to, either I live Sucker Punch or I don't. I'm at 80% right now, meaning the Sucker Punch is, oh, it's actually pretty likely to KO. Okay, then I should nasty plot. Wait, yeah, I'm at what's it called? Here's Aqua Jet. How much does this do? That's a 2-shot. Sucker Punch fails. Hang on a second. Wait a second. I'm at +4. I mean, it is possible. I'm gonna Make It Rain and I'm gonna Last Respects. Here's Follow Me. Okay, let's see if they go for Sucker Punch. Oh, I got it right. I can't believe it. We're going to game 3. My God. Oh my God. Okay, Basket Legion was really good here. Basket Legion was really good here. Oh my God, that's crazy. That's so crazy. Okay, Goldango wins. Good job, Goldango. My God, I don't know how. Garchomp was good, but I also sacked it for no reason. I have nothing. There's nothing I can do. I can't do this lead again. That much is obvious, right? Zap Cannon does so much damage. Okay, one thing I could do is I could go for Zap Cannon plus Rock Slide if they were to do the same thing. I think I need to lead with Garchomp this game and bring Goldango in the back. The nice thing about having Goldango in the back is that if I get the leads wrong, I can always switch into it. I think it's Raichu Chomp lead. Yeah, I mean, not pretty good, but it's something. Okay, Raichu Garchomp, Goldango Basket Legion. This is what I am thinking about. Whimsicott is good here in theory because it's Focus Sash, which is nice, but I think it's actually I think it's a bait. I think I need the other mons. Raichu actually outputs tons of damage. I think there was a couple worlds where I got the KO on the Farigiraf. Although living with 5% is a little bit dicey. I don't know their exact spreads. The nice thing about this matchup is that when I lose, it'll be quick. There's not a lot of waiting. Okay, here's the thing. If they lead Farig, I can get a read right or I can get lucky. And both worlds give me like a pretty big edge from the beginning. Getting a read wrong, of course, costs me the game on the spot, but who is thinking about that? Not me. Mawile Farig again. Okay, so I immediately have a choice. Immediately. I can double either slot. I cannot KO Farigiraf from here, which is bad. However, I could KO the Mawile with a double up. What I kind of want to do is go Zap Cannon here. I think their back mons are Incineroar plus Torkoal. So if I double the Mawile, it's the highest upside, but it also has the highest downside. If I were to get it right, I would still have some trouble versus Torkoal, right? It's just a 50-50, right? But it's not a 50-50 that feels in my favor. Let's Zap Cannon and Stomping Tantrum here. We want to see Mawile Mega Evolve here because that implies that they're staying in and attacking. Like if I get Zap Cannon plus Rock Slide and I get the flinch, I think they would lose. I'm basically banging the fact that my opponent is good and will try and cover for bad luck. They did Mega Evolve. This means I have a chance that they're attacking. If I get the call correct and I get the attacks into Mawile, it's good. Let's see if anything protects here. Helping Hand. Oh, is it Helping Hand Sucker Punch? I assume I die to that. Ugh. Do I survive? Mawile's too strong, man. Okay, the good news is that there's no good news. Oh, they played, that was a really smart play. Yeah, losing my Mega Turn 1 is going to be a death sentence, unfortunately. But there is still a world where I can win this, if you will indulge me, okay? I go into Goldango, and I go for Nasty Plot, okay? And I go for Rock Slide. And if I get the flinch, then this game becomes a lot more interesting, I think. I don't think I'm winning this. My only hope is that the turn where they set Trick Room up, they have to be a little bit careful. They just attack, they just play rough. Oh no. Okay, I crit the Mawile, I think, which is good for me. I crit the Mawile. Okay, I need the flinches. I don't really care about the flinch on the Mawile. I mean, I care about the flinch on both, but I really need to flinch the Farigiraf, I think. Player of connects. Okay, if I flinch the Mawile, we're back in business. Need one cheeky flinch on the Mawile. On the Farigiraf. Oh, that's super not good. Okay. Well, that could be better. I am +2, which is nice. But I am also dead, which is not nice. Yeah, I mean, I think, yeah, I needed some luck and they played really well. So I could go over and make it rain and potentially get both KOs here. But do I want to do that or do I want a nasty plot? I need to waste Trick Room turns, right? I think I need them to make a mistake to win this. Yeah, I mean, I knew it was coming. This should be instant or Torkoal. Instant, okay. I knew it was coming, but I didn't really see what I was supposed to do to punish it. Because I think the last one is Torkoal. The only way to win this is to somehow Sucker Punch. Fine. Yeah, they covered for everything, basically. Does my Goldango really die to this? I can get the KO here, and if the last one is Mousehold, it's potentially go for Wave Crush. I don't think this works. I think they can probably just read this. Okay, protect from Goldango, Sucker Punch into Goldango. Okay, interesting. This should be Lariat, I guess. Interesting. You know, I actually could have done better here. Oh, I survived. Okay. Okay, here's the win condition. Last Mon is Mousehold. Last Mon is Mousehold, and Wave Crush should KO here. Okay, I get the Instant Aurora. I didn't get 4-0'd. I mean, listen, I'm doing my best, folks. I really, truly am. It's just not enough. Yeah, if last one is Torkoal, the game is over. But yeah, I mean, you saw how hard the matchup was, and I didn't get the calls correct. This Mawile is just such a problem. It is Torkoal, yeah. Yeah, well played. Okay, it's technically possible to win if I get a triple protect, right? And then a big old crit. They played really well, but also I just had no tools. I think if I had Incineroar, this game would have been about 100 times easier. But yeah, without Incineroar, my Trick Room matchup is just too flimsy, I think. I go for the double, I fail. It didn't matter. I was not winning this. They go for Eruption. That's going to do it. So yeah, GG's, well played. Yeah, I think that like one of the things about running a Tailwind team is you need to have hard answers for Trick Room, and I just didn't have hard answers for Trick Room. So I'm happy to have taken a game off, to be honest. And yeah, I think that like it was pretty difficult. So hopefully in the future we don't have to play any more of these matchups is what I'll say about that. Alrighty, folks, we are here in round 3 and we're up against a rain team. A rain team with Mega Swampert and Mega Metagross. So I think this is actually somewhat challenging for my team because I have no weather control, number 1. And number 2, Raichu is very not so good into Swampert. However, I don't think it's a terrible matchup by any means. As we take a look at their team, you can see here that they have a bunch of Pokemon that are weak to Goldango. This is actually a Focus Sash on Pelipper as well. There is the Damp Rock, which extends weather in the game now. So I think what I'm gonna try and do here is 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't think we need Floette. It is good here, but I just feel a little bit like it's a little bit risky to bring a Floette into a double steel type, especially this Metagross is different than the last one. It actually has Bullet Punch. So you need to watch out for that. Stalling of the Rain is going to be important. This is Choice Scarf, Basculegion, so I do need to watch out for that. Leftovers are Calodon. The Sableye has Rain Dance and Quash and Foul Play, so I need to watch out for that. One of the big things I noticed about this team is that there's no Ghost resistance at all. There are 2 weaknesses to Ghost and then no resistances, and so late game Basculegion or late game Goldango can be really strong. I have a secret weapon in this matchup, by the way, which is the fact that it's not so easy for their Calodon to actually do what it wants to here because of the fact that there are Calodon, it has Electroshock, Draco Meteor, and Flash Cannon, and I could actually use Raichu's base ability here. So I think my goal here is to, ooh, that's not good. Ooh, that's really not good, is it? I think my goal here has to be to get rid of the Swampert early, I think. I don't feel like I'm gonna die to a Stomping Tantrum from Swampert, though I could be wrong. So I think the first question is, should I, see, Mega Swampert with Stomping Tantrum, it's Adamant Nature. Okay, do you think it gets me with my Goldango with Stomping Tantrum? No, it doesn't, but it'll get close. The Pelipper does not have, I think I'll just go for Tailwind here and Shadow Ball into Swampert, just get some damage down maybe. Swampert's gonna Mega Evolve. I do feel like the important thing here is to get through the Swampert here. So they're gonna Mega Evolve. I'm hoping Shadow Ball will do about 50%, because my Raichu is so good into, offensively at least, into a lot of these other Pokemon. Swampert has Wave Crash, Stomping Tantrum, Protect, and Ice Punch. So I have Tailwind up now, which is good. Here's Shadow Ball, hoping that this does about half. Yeah, over half, great. I should live a Stomping Tantrum, which is probably not guaranteed though. Let's see what they go for with Swampert here. They're gonna go for a Ice Punch actually. So they're going after my Whimsicott. I think that's probably for the best for me, all things considered. They go Hang On Sash, and let's see if they go for Hurricane or Weather Ball or Tailwind. They do go Tailwind. Okay, so That's a little bit not as ideal, right? Because now they have Tailwind up, which is just pretty spooky. So I'm gonna go for, it's actually kind of tricky, right? I could Encore the Swampert, which would allow me to, I could Encore the Pelipper, which is good unless they switch. I could Encore the Swampert, which would mean that my Goldengo will make it through the turn. I'm gonna Encore the I should Encore the Pelipper probably. Encore the Pelipper and Shadow Ball the Swampert. If we think that we live a Stomping Tantrum, they just switch out here. So this is probably the wrong play. They go into Basculegion. So this is looking a little bit suspect because now I might just, I actually think I messed up. They go for Stomping. I think I made a big mistake here, actually. I do survive, though I'll faint to this turn. The problem here is that I didn't really bring an answer for Basculegion. My answer was to just KO it by outspeeding it. I did get rid of the Swampert, which is good. But yeah, the problem is that basically I don't really have a way through this Basculegion anymore, right? Like I have to trade with it somehow. I'm gonna go into Raichu, I think here. Maybe I'll go into my Basculegion, actually. Yeah, the problem is that they can kind of just kill me with Last Respects because they're faster. Here's Pelipper again. So this is not great. I'm gonna switch out here. Ooh, it's pretty tricky, actually. If they go for Weather Wall, I'm just in huge trouble. Yeah, this is kind of tricky. Okay. I think this is the wrong play. I think this play will almost always lose me the game, unfortunately. I go for Last Respects, I do block it, but yeah, now the problem is that I actually can't really deal with this. Like all these water type attackers, it's just really difficult for my team. Well, actually specifically the ghost type attacker. Okay, Pelipper's gonna go down to, oh, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. Low HP. I'm glad I didn't switch that. I maybe was supposed to go Raichu first. I don't think my Raichu will take Scarf Last Respects, right? No, I don't take it, even if it's Jolly. I have Raichu now. It's like, I am kind of close to winning, but I'm not close enough. Let's go for Mega Evolve Zap Cannon here, and I think we need a double protect. I think the win condition is double protect here. I think I can win this matchup, but I do need to be really mindful about Whimsicott specifically because yeah, dealing with Mega Swampert is kind of tricky. Yeah, I can't let them match Tailwind. Focus Sash, Timid Pelipper. If it was Modest Pelipper, I would have tried to get it on the first turn, but okay, Raichu's up. That's good. Let's see if Basculegion can get the double protect. It fails. That's not good. It probably, yeah, I probably would have won if I got it. They Last Respects into Raichu, so they actually gave me a chance to win this. Wow, okay, they hard read the double protect. They go for Hurricane, yeah, -1, yeah, okay, well played. Yeah, that's just gonna be a loss. So, okay, what's the big picture problem here? The big picture issue is that I let them get speed control with Basculegion. They're always gonna be leading Pelipper probably, and they're always going to, it's really hard for me to fight for control of the rain. And I don't have a Ghost Resist, which is bad. I thought that not having a Ghost Resist was gonna help me, but in the end, it actually was better for them. So, I think it's winnable, but I need to be a little bit more intentional with how I approach this, I think. The problem, God, there's so many problems. Yeah, they honestly played really well. I could try and do something with Floette, like using Light of Ruin. I need to find some way of denying them getting Tailwind up. Whimsicott can be part of the answer, but it's not the whole answer on its own. Yeah, not having a Pokemon faster than Scarf Basculegion is kind of challenging here, right? I don't think Garchomp is very good here. I do think Floette could be strong, offensively at least. The problem with bringing Floette is that it means no Raichu, although honestly, maybe I don't, like the thing is I need to respect the Metagross, right? So I think I'm gonna run it back again. Raichu just wasn't very good here. I'd like to, let's try and win with late game Tailwind rather than early game. Swampert, Pelipper again, okay. So I could have done Floette stuff if I wanted. We're running it back. And we're gonna go for, we're just gonna double the Pelipper this time. The problem is, this is a bad plan because if they go for Ice Punch and Hurricane, I just lose, right? They could also win on a freeze. Yeah, I think this is a bad plan. This is basically hard calling out that they want to go for Tailwind on the first turn. I could also protect Whimsicott and Shadow Ball. It's not a terrible idea, but it can really backfire. I think I just have to make a call in the first turn that they're not gonna go for anything too ridiculous. They also don't know who's faster between my Basculegion and their Pelipper. Basically, okay, what I'm worried about here is that I'm worried about them doubling into my, Goldang, or into my Whimsicott, but I don't think it makes that much sense for them to do. Also, do I even live a Wave Crash? Is that stronger than Stomping? Oopsie, hold on a second. I live this, right? Okay, that's really bad. That is really, 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 really bad. Okay, I did not realize I died to that. Oh no. Okay, I break the Sash, but at a terrible cost. Okay, it's good damage. 67. Go for Tailwind. Okay, now what? Now what indeed? Okay, so I can KO their Swampert, but does that help me? Not really. I think I need to keep my Whimsicott healthy here, right? I need to get rid of the Swampert. I think it's winnable. I think I can win from here. I think I should Encore this turn. Yeah, I'm supposed to Encore this turn. They're gonna switch, but I think it's still correct to Encore. Encore Pelipper and then Last Respects here. Okay, great. Okay, I almost made the wrong play. Encore Pelipper, so it's now locked into Tailwind. They go for Wave Crash into my Basque, I guess. I guess it's their strongest move. What on earth is this Pokemon? Hello. Hey, here's Tailwind again. If they'd Hurricane, they would have lost on the spot. Okay, Last Respects comes out. There's 2 turns of their Tailwind left. Pelipper is damaged. They have Basculegion in the back, presumably. It's going to be pretty tight, I think. Archaludon is the switch. Oh, Archaludon is the switch. Okay, but Pelipper's locked into, what's it called? I'm going to switch out here, and I'm going to Last Respects into the Pelipper slot, I think. Okay, we want Pelipper to switch to Basculegion. We want to see Electro Shot. It is Basculegion. Okay, show me Electro Shot. Please, I'm begging you. Raichu, okay. Ooh, okay, it's fine. Raichu takes it, okay. And now I am gonna go for Last Respect. I'm gonna KO their Basculegion. I get the KO, awesome. And now what? Here's Pelipper, okay, cool. So I have Fake Out Pressure on this turn. I need to make sure I don't accidentally lose to this Archaludon, right? Actually, you know what I can do for real? I can Fake Out the Pelipper and I can Aqua Jet. Do you think Aqua Jet gets the KO here? I bet it does, whatever, I'll do this. Here's Fake Out, okay. Raichu gets it. I'm not Mega Evolving on purpose because if they go for Electro Shot, okay, Flash Cannon comes out. I survive, awesome. Now I flinch the Pelipper. Oh, the Archaludon's fast. It's actually faster than Pelipper. Interesting, so it's probably not that bulky. Okay, that's the end of Pelipper. And now Tailwind finally ends, which means I get to go for Mega Evolve and Focus Blast with Raichu and Last Respects. I'm pretty sure their Archaludon, their Archaludon is guaranteed to be faster than my Basculegion. So it was a little bit dicey, but we did turn it around. The question is, what do I do in game 3? Because this Mega Swampert is pretty spooky. Oh, it actually just one-shots the Archaludon. Okay. So I would really like to bring my Floette, right? Floette is great into the Swampert lead, but the issue with bringing Floette in the lead is that if they bring Metagross, I just lose, right? Like without question. So I'm not really sure what to do then. How much do you think Pelipper? This Pelipper is clearly not very bulky. Aqua Jet plus Moonblast is not a reliable KO. I think I high rolled them last time. They don't have any bulk on them, but yeah, Aqua Jet plus Moonblast will not reliably get the KO. So I'm thinking, what if I sacrifice Raichu on the first turn? What if I go for what if I fake out the Pelipper and Tailwind on the first turn, sacrifice Raichu to get Tailwind up, and then I get Basculegion inside of Tailwind. But does that even do anything for me? It doesn't really, right? I'm gonna try it. I don't think this works though. Oh, there is, okay, wait, I see one way that it could work. Swampert, Sableye are the leads. Okay, this is overall, I think, fine. Sableye's moveset is, I guess they left behind Archaludon. Yeah, this is not a great trade. They don't have Encore, right? Okay. I should have Fake Out of the, no, this is the correct play. I think. Raichu's Mega Evolving. I'm now Big Mode. Do you think I died a foul play from Sableye? No way, right? Oh, I super die. Oh my God, that's not good. I did not realize I died. Okay, cool. This is really gonna be threading the needle. It should be Fake Out into Bask. And I assume Stomping into my Raichu. Nice play. Ugh. Now, it doesn't really change that much, but it's certainly not good. I wish I went for something else. Oh well. Let's go for Switch plus Protect here. This might be Protect plus Foul Play. That's kind of what I'm hoping, basically. I'm hoping to go Protect plus Foul Play here. There's Protect. They're not protecting. Okay. They're going for Stomping Tantrum. Okay. To Whims. Ugh, that's not good. Okay. And Foul Play. Okay. I mean, I'm just taking damage for no reason, right? Ultimately, that's the problem here. Let's go for Encore into Swampert, block it into Stomping, and Wave Crash into Swampert as well, I think. We need to get some damage down. That's the only way. I don't think they'll protect in front of Whimsicott. I don't think they feel that threatened. Okay, here's Encore. So basically, this is what I've been aiming for. What I've been aiming for. I'm trying to deny them what they want. I want them to Stomping into my. Oh, hang on a second. That's really good. Rain goes up. They Stomping into Whimsicott. Okay, I guess there's pros and cons of that, but overall, it's not the worst thing to ever happen to me. As Wave Crash is going to come out here and probably do some pretty meaningful damage to the Swampert. You get the one shot in the Swampert, so the Mega's down, but the real threat here is, well, it's partially the Sableye, it's also partially the Basculegion, though. So I think what I need to do here is Tailwind and Protect if Basculegion comes out. And if Archaludon comes out, it's okay. I can beat Archaludon later. It's Pelipper, actually. Okay. So I need to go for what? They're threatening a KO on both my Pokemon. In the back, I have Goldengo. I need to get Tailwind up or I will lose the game, right? So let me go for Tailwind here and Wave Crash here. I think Sableye's probably not thrilled about that. Yeah, let's try this. I go for Tailwind. My thought process is basically if I can clear this Sableye, then it puts them in a spot where it's pretty awkward for them. Oh, oh, does this kill? This should definitely kill. Okay, Sableye's down. So if they go for Tailwind, then I can Encore them. And if they go for Hurricane, then they don't have speed control. So basically, I'm hoping that their last Pokemon is Basculegion, because if it's Basculegion, I can go into Raichu and I can click Zap Cannon. Right? This should all work out, right? I have full HP Raichu. I still have Goldango in the back as well. They've already Mega Evolved. I've cleared 2 Pokemon. Let me go into Raichu here. I got a KO as well. Okay. Raichu comes out. Here's Basculegion. So I have Zap Cannon. I'm the one with Tailwind up right now, thanks to the rain that they set up, right? Yeah, they don't have Tailwind. So I guess I have the only option that I have here, the only other thing to consider is I could fake out the Pelipper, which breaks the Focus Sash. And I don't think that they can survive 1 stack of Last Respects, right? Certainly not. And Aqua Jet in the rain should not be able to kill me. I'm doing this because I'm worried about Aqua Jet crit KOing Raichu, whereas I don't think it will KO Basculegion. And even if they do, I get another shot next turn. So I'm gonna fake out the Pelipper and Last Respects to Basculegion. Here's Fake Out. Raichu Fake Out coming in clutch here. I go for Last Respects. Does it KO? It does. Okay, Basculegion goes down, and all of a sudden, we've managed to maneuver this game in a way that I think we have it here. It was really hard. The Swampert was really difficult. The Sabler was really difficult, but Raichu, for the 2nd game in a row, able to come in at the very end and be exactly the Pokemon that we needed. Zap Cannon here. I don't think Pelipper with Focus Sash is taking quad effective Zap Cannon. Gotta give a shout out to Basculegion and Whimsicott too. They also were very strong here. The only reason we were able to get to this end game. But yeah, Zap Cannon comes out and we're gonna win round 3. So definitely a tough matchup for sure. But we were able to turn it around thanks to some, I think, really good macro positioning, understanding that we needed to have Tailwind up or else we were never gonna beat their Basculegion. So they played really well though. GG's to them. But yeah, let's move on to round 4. Okay, so we have our first occurrence of the tournament, which is that we're playing the Raichu Y Mirror Match. There is one slight difference though, is that my Raichu has Fake Out, whereas theirs has Encore. They also have Mega Staraptor though. So I need to be careful here because Mega Staraptor can be quite scary, although this Mega Staraptor actually doesn't have Protect. So overall, I think this looks like a positive matchup for me. I think we can do Goldango plus Raichu in the lead. Whimsicott is pretty good here. Encore is really good into a lot of these Pokemon. And then the last Pokemon should probably be either Garchomp or Basculegion. Let's see. Basculegion's a lot better versus Incineroar, but I think I should do Garchomp here, right? This is Choice Scarf Meowscarada, so I do need to watch out for that. We did see earlier that if the opponent leads with Grimmsnarl into Goldango, it can get really dicey for them really quickly. I think this is a reasonable setup though. The Incineroar is Citrus Berry, which is quite threatening. It's also Careful Incineroar, which means I think my Goldango should survive a hit, unlike the offensive one that we played earlier. Yeah, we should survive 1, though it's not so clear beyond that. This is a couple interesting sets here. It's Bulk Up Corviknight, Brick Break and Close Combat on the Staraptor, Scary Face Grimmsnarl with no attacking moves, Parting Shot and Scary Face. Okay, cool. So Meowscarada in the lead. I kind of just want to go for Fake Out plus Nasty Plot here. I'm not that worried about anything. I actually might survive. Let's see what they go for here. Should be Light Screen. That makes sense. We'll have Flower Trick. Could survive with this. Okay, I mean, I got +2, so I mean, I feel like this can't be that bad, right? Surely this isn't that bad. I am a little bit worried about Mega Evolving here, but I think it's okay because I have Garchomp in the back. So let's go Mega Evolve and Zap Cannon here. And let's go for Protect. Because what this does is it gives me speed control and lets me scout out what the Meowscarada wants to go for. I should have checked the ability on this thing. I see what Protect is. Okay, they stay in with their Grimmsnarl here. So this is probably Parting Shot and they're going to bring something else in, which is a little bit spooky for sure. I'll go Protect here with Goldango. This should be Parting Shot, right? Surely this is Parting Shot. It is Scary Face actually. So that's not something that I anticipated. Interesting. They go for Knockoff. Okay. So they're now Dark type into my Goldango. So I get the Zap Cannon off, but is this good for me? Yep, that's great. Thanks, Raichu. That was really good. Although I don't know if I really wanted to get the KO there, but I mean, I guess I shouldn't complain. I am -2 speed on Raichu now, though. So if the right threat comes in, it is Corviknight. I don't think that's good for them. I don't think that's very good. You know what? Why don't I just switch Raichu out? I'm not really in any danger. I'm going to switch to Whimsicott. Why don't I just Shadow Ball the Corviknight? The Grimmsnarl can't threaten me here. I think it's important to save Raichu, and I really don't want to give them a free Lightning Rod boost. Like, I think giving them a Lightning Rod boost is how I could lose this. Give a Parting Shot. Okay, so if this is Raichu, then I think I made the right move. Do you think I KO there Raichu with Shadow Ball +2? It is Raichu. Okay, so I didn't fall for the bait. That's good for me. We're going to go for Shadow Ball here. So the real question is, can I get through their Raichu? Should do a lot. A lot of damage, honestly. They dropped my special defense. Wait, that's really bad. Wait, that's so bad. Oh no. Oh no. They go for bulk up. Okay, so I have encore pressure, but because of the special defense drop, this is now actually a lot scarier. I kind of am inclined to believe that they'll live a +2 Shadow Ball with light screen up. Really depends how bulky they are. They might not live. So yeah, let's just Tailwind Shadow Ball. We have our setup. We do to watch out for light screen, and we have to keep in mind that I'm -1 special attack on Whimsicott, but I feel like I'm in good shape here. I do Mega Evolve, so I now can Zap Cannon for free. And I also still have Garchomp in the back. You know, actually, maybe it was correct to just try and take out the Corviknight here because Garchomp should always win in the end. Yeah, that was probably the right move. But anyway, this should work too. Let's go for Tailwind. Tailwind comes out. I will go down to a Zapkin here, but the question is +2 Shadow Ball KO. It depends how bulky they are. They do go down on 1. Uh-oh, that's not good for them. And now I think Goldango plus Whimsicott just win the game. They can't really get through Goldango very easily with what they brought. They didn't bring in Incineroar, which I think they probably needed, and they go for Roost here, which I understand where they're coming from, but the problem with going for Roost is that I can now Encore them into it. So, like, the Grimmsnarl doesn't have an attacking move, so I can just fully ignore it. Yeah, Grimmsnarl comes back out here, but yeah, it's Scary Face, Parting Shot. It's really not doing much. Let's go for Encore here. Let's go for another Nasty Plot because we don't get an in-1 anyway, so let's go for this. Whimsicott is still -1, but I think we're gonna be able to win this one without revealing our last Pokemon. Yeah, Goldango plus Whimsicott plus Raichu is really dangerous for a lot of teams, is what I'm learning. There's Encore. Corviknight is now stuck using Roost for probably the rest of the game until it goes down. Okay, for Parting Shot, so that's dropping my special attack. Go back to full after this, yeah. Yeah, you can see the synergy here between Fake Out, Tailwind, Encore. It's really hard to stop Goldango once it gets going. That should be a forfeit. Okay, cool. So the good news is that they don't have, like, okay, so the reason why we were able to win this is in part because they let us get Incineroar kind of, or they let us get Meowscarada somewhat for free, and we crit them as well. Yeah, we might have had a harder time if we hadn't gotten Meowscarada. I think I can probably just run it back again. I wonder if this time maybe I should do something a little bit different with, like, Make It Rain instead. I just don't think they're gonna lead. I don't feel like they can afford to lead with, I don't think they can afford to lead with their Grimmsnarl. I feel like Grimmsnarl is just a liability into this lead. So I think let's just run it back. Let's see what their adaptation is. The nice thing is that we do have multiple answers for Corviknight between Encore and Goldango and Raichu. So we have to be a little bit careful because if we lose Raichu and Goldango, which are our leads, then Corviknight could cause us some problems. But yeah, let's see what they do here. I expect them to do Incineroar, Meowscarada. Raichu, Grimmsnarl. That's not good for them. I really don't think this is a good lead because I'm able to do Nasty Plot here plus Fake Out. But this looks really dangerous because I'm not gonna Mega Evolve. I'm gonna keep my Raichu in base form, and now they can't go for Zap Cannon. Because if they go for Zap Cannon, then, I mean, it doesn't do anything. It gets redirected into the Lightning Rod. So yeah, I can just Fake Out on the first turn, which is nice. But Grimmsnarl, okay, they switch out. Nice play, nice play. Yeah, they weren't allowed to stay in there, I don't think. Okay, it is Incineroar. That's definitely scary. Yeah, okay. This is a good play. This is a good play. They played well. Okay, they keep themselves in base as well. So what do I do now? The Incineroar is Citrus Berry as well. I have to keep that in mind. I think I'm supposed to just, oh wait, they just protected. So I do have the ability to just protect and Shadow Ball here. I could go down to a Flare Blitz, but I think the important thing here is to try and clear the Raichu, because presumably that's their Mega Evolution. They can't do anything here except go for Encore or switching Grimmsnarl. Switching in Grimmsnarl would be bad. We now know that they can't have both Corviknight and Meowscarada, which are their two more threatening like Pokemon in the back. So that's nice that they only have one of them. Let's say they stay in here. I expect them to go for Encore plus Flare Blitz. The nice thing is that you might notice that like my Goldango is actually fully immune to this Raichu because Encore it's immune to because of Good as Gold. Okay, they stay in. Zap Cannon, it's protected by Lightning Rod and it's immune to Focus Blast. So in the Raichu mirror match, it's often really essential to keep your Raichu un-Mega Evolved. They're going for the Mega here. I could have gone for Focus Blast raw, but I felt like it was just too risky. You know, honestly, I didn't get Encored. I didn't want to get Encored. They go for Zap Cannon and it gets redirected though. Lightning Rod takes it. I won't get the boost here because I protected myself, which is a little bit unfortunate, but I think the important thing was that I kept my Raichu healthy. Here's Shadow Ball. We already know this KOs. We saw KO last game through Light Screen, so their Mega's down, and that means that now they actually don't really have good answers to Zap Cannon anymore. So that's pretty good for me. I lose some health, which is not ideal, and here's the Flare Blitz. They actually doubled. They doubled Raichu, or no, they Flare Blitzed Raichu, and they Zap Cannon Goldango, so I was able to fully nullify their turn there. Meowscarada is going to come in. Let's see. So we know all their Mons. That also means that if we deal with this Meowscarada, we're gonna be in good position to win the game. So I think what I want to do here, even though it's a little bit redundant, is I think I'm supposed to go for Mega Evolve and should I Zap Cannon or should I Focus Blast? I'm gonna Focus Blast here, and I'm gonna Make It Rain because I think that as long as Meowscarada goes down, because the Grimmsnarl doesn't have any attacking moves, I think that as long as Meowscarada goes down, I should win the game because Garchomp should always beat Incineroar, and they can't, they only have Flare Blitz on this Incineroar. Like that's, if I get rid of Meowscarada, their only damaging move is, yeah, Flare Blitz. So here's Flower Trick. Let's see here. This probably KOs Raichu. Probably. It's pretty frail. I'm not that bulky. Okay, Raichu goes down, so they actually might get both KOs this turn, but I think this is a case where they've won the battle but lost the war, because now I go for Make It Rain. I hit both. Missing the Meowscarada would have been very bad there. And I get Meowscarada, yeah, and now between Flare Blitz, Recoil, Garchomp, and Whimsicott still at full in the back, I think this game is actually over. They have dealt with Raichu, but Raichu, even though it didn't actually do any damage this game, it still did what it needed to do, which was provide Fake Out to set up, and then protect me with Lightning Rod. Flare Blitz comes out, Gholdengo goes down, but actually that's just more recoil for Incineroar. Incineroar has Citrus Berry, so it'll survive a bit longer, but it has no way to protect itself. Because we know that their last Pokemon was Grimmsnarl, they're going to heal off a bit of this damage, but now all damage is permanent. And I don't think they're going to be able to take Garchomp plus Whimsicott attacks very easily. They can set a screen, they can Parting Shot, they can slow me down. They can actually Scary Face, which would be a little bit scarier if I didn't have as much health as I do, but I think with what I have with Citrus Berry still on Garchomp, this is kind of, I think, a foregone conclusion. So we'll go Moonblast here, Stomping here. We can totally ignore the Grimmsnarl because the Incineroar can't protect itself. I mean, let's see what they go for. I could be wrong. Like maybe Parting Shot or like Reflect. Maybe they live the double up now. I don't think they will, but I've been wrong before. Yeah. I think Grimmsnarl is just really difficult to bring into Raichu. Moonblast actually does a good chunk of damage there. And Stomping Tantrum will finish off the Incineroar. And with that, there's another win for Raichu, this time beating an opposing Raichu, putting us to 3 wins and 1 loss in the tournament, which is pretty good. Yeah, I mean, we had a close set versus the Trick Room player versus the Rain player, and I feel like, yeah, other than that, we've been doing pretty well. So yeah, Raichu plus Gholdengo is pretty strong is what I've learned. We're over halfway through the, oopsie, wrong button. We're over halfway through the first 7 rounds. We will see if I make it to top 8 afterwards, but regardless, I feel like this has been a pretty strong start. Let's see what we're up against in round 5. Okay, this is a very interesting matchup. We have 4 of the same Pokemon. We both have Whimsicott, Raichu with Mega Y, Garchomp, and Basculegion. However, some of the sets are a little bit different. Their Raichu has Grass Knot instead of Fake Out. And they also have Charizard Y, which is a little bit scary because they also have Raichu. And Life Orb Alolan Ninetales with a timid nature. I think I might have made a big mistake making my Raichu the speed that it is, because it's not only going to be slower than their Raichu, it's also slower than their Alolan Ninetales, which could be a pretty big problem for me. So Gholdengo looks pretty good here, kind of, except for the Charizard. And except for the Charizard is kind of like a big qualifier, right? But we'll do our best. The only good news is that the Garchomp doesn't have Protect. Is that good news? I guess so. Okay, let's see what we can do here. So I think, okay, my initial instinct is to do something with Raichu and Gholdengo. Gholdengo, they do have a bunch of Pokemon that are weak to Gholdengo, so I'm kind of tempted to do something like this. Basculegion is really strong, but the fact that they have Charizard and Whimsicott and Raichu, I feel like in game 1 this is reasonable, and maybe I do something with Basculegion in game 2. Let's try this for game 1. It's Blizzard, Icy Wind, and Encore on the Ninetales. Let's try this in game 1 and then go from there. This makes sense. Like, a Basculegion is totally solid here. Although, I bet I take a bunch from Grass Knot, right? I think Basculegion looks like Big Boy. Do you think Basculegion is Big Boy? Yeah, they can do maximum 96%. So, yeah, gotta watch out for that. So, I think this makes sense in game 1. Gotta watch out for their Raichu. I'm glad I have Citrus on Garchomp. Their Garchomp doesn't have Protect, so if I can position properly, it'll be good for me. But yeah, I need to really watch out because of the fact that I'm starting out the battle a little bit slow. They leave the Charizard and Garchomp. So, overall, this is a terrible, terrible, terrible lead for me. Like, I've really messed up immediately, I think. They're gonna go for Earthquake and Heat Wave most likely. And I don't really have a good answer to that. I guess I switch into Garchomp and just Protect. Yeah, I could Fake Out either Mom, but it doesn't really help me much. Let's switch and Protect, I guess. Because I don't live in Earthquake. There's no way. They're also Expert Belt. Okay, switch and Protect it is. They actually switch Garchomp out here into their own Raichu. Oh, interesting. So they're going for Lightning Rod stuff, as I'm gonna switch out as well. But they don't, the difference between us is that they don't have, they do Mega Evolve. Okay, so they're playing with base Raichu, which means that they are good. It's a little bit risky for them, to say the least. Yeah, it's a bit risky for them to go attack here. So I think, it's so scary. I think it's an okay turn 1. I think the turn 1 has gone all right. Okay, we're gonna Protect here. We're just gonna figure it out. As they go for Heat Wave, presumably. They could miss. It's totally possible. They could miss. They hit, Madge. Okay, Garchomp takes a lot of damage from Heat Wave. Is that a crit, or does it just do that much? Okay, no burn. Okay, the nice thing now, though, is that it's like not so easy for them to get around this. I can go for Mega Evolve and Focus Blast into either slot. The Raichu has Protect. I'm inclined to go Focus Blast into Zard here, I think, to ensure that it goes down to Rock Slide. I should be faster. This also covers the switch to Garchomp in this slot. Okay, they stay in. They brought both Raichu and Charizard because they want to use Raichu just as a non-Mega attacker, which makes sense. Let's see what they go for here. I expect them to go for Protect. They actually don't Protect. Okay, so I could get the Charizard here. Focus Blast will chip this thing into range of Rock Slide. which is really nice. So they go for Focus Blast is their highest risk, highest reward option. They go for Grass Knot. It doesn't do very much damage. They also take a little bit of recoil. That might not look like a lot, but it actually is quite important because, well, first of all, let's see if I hit Rock Slide. I hit both. That's really good. They lived Focus Blast plus Rock Slide. I better flinch or I'm gonna be pissed. I'm so good. Okay, let's go stomping here and Focus Blast. They lived, okay, I didn't give my Garchomp very much attack. I didn't think it would bite me this hard though. My God, okay, that could have gone a lot worse. I'm out of the woods though. Like they still have multiple forms of counterplay here, which is not good for me. I maybe could have made a read. You know, maybe I should have Dragon Clawed the Raichu, but either of the fairy types could switch in here. So, I mean, it could have gone worse. If I hadn't gotten the flinch, I think I would have been in. Although honestly, you can actually make the case that it's worse that I didn't get the flinch, or that I did get the flinch, because I would have had Whimsicott in and my pressure would have been really, really effective. But they switched Charizard out, so this is going to be something taking a Focus Blast. It is Whimsicott, so I'm glad to break the Sash, but I need to be pretty careful here. Okay, they're going for another attack. They're going to go for Tailwind against Zarden again, I guess. They have Encore as well, so actually, yeah, good play from them. They go for Focus Blast. They actually connect, which is quite unfortunate for me. In 44, yeah, this is where the positioning gets awkward, right? Because now I do have access to Lightning Rod again, but the problem is that we don't know what the last Pokemon is, right? And if I give them Tailwind, yeah, the whole situation can get really dicey really quickly. I think I'm actually supposed to switch into Whimsicott here for Raichu and just let Garchomp go down. Oh, they go into Garchomp. Okay, wait, we know all the Mons. We know all the Mons. So let's go for Dragon Claw here. Let's try this. I think it's somewhat dangerous for me, unfortunately. They go for Tailwind. Okay, so this is probably Earthquake, right? They go for Earthquake. Okay, so that's not great. Do I live this? I might. I die. They crit me? I didn't think I'd go down there. Okay. So now it's pretty dicey, right? I have Raichu, I have Gholdengo. So if I go Raichu, I have Fake Out Pressure, which is nice. Let's go Raichu. I think this is the wrong call for what it's worth. This allows me to go Fake Out plus Moonblast both into Chomp. I'm gonna Fake Out and Moonblast the Garchomp. I think I'm throwing this. Okay, they would have let me Encore then, which is kind of crazy. A Moonblast, okay, I should take this, but I'm taking damage in a way that I'm not happy about. A lot. No, the drop. Oh my God. Okay, that's pretty bad for me. I think I messed this up. Wait, I actually think I messed this up. Oh, no-y. Oh, no. I totally blew this. Yeah, the fact that they have Tailwind up. Oh, please don't disconnect. Please. No. Okay. I have to go Gholdengo here. Man, I really wish I had Vasculegion. Go Gholdengo and Protect. Okay. It's still winnable. It's just getting a little bit dicey. The nice thing is that they don't have Stomping Tantrum. So if they want to attack me, they need to go for Earthquake. Bad news is that if they go for Earthquake, I'm screwed. It's very close. The special attack drop might be my undoing. Yeah, they have a lot of good options here. Okay, Raichu switching out here. I needed Vasculegion. I didn't respect this Garchomp enough. Okay, Protect Whimsicott. So they have one turn of Tailwind left. Let's see what they go for this turn. I'm expecting like Poison Jab plus Encore. Unless they Earthquake. Okay, if they Earthquake, then it's a lot better for me. They actually Earthquake this slot and they Poison Jab. Okay, cool. So now I can go for Make It Rain and Encore into this. And I think there's a chance that Charizard switches in here. Like they can Encore me, but in order to Encore me, they also have to Earthquake. And then it would just come down to whether or not my Gholdengo survives a hit, which it should. They need to Encore my Whimsicott this turn, I think, to cover for this play. And Earthquake themselves. If they just switch plus Earthquake, they're in huge trouble. They could also protect their Whimsicott, which would be bad for other reasons. Okay, I Encore them into Poison Jab, so as long as Make It Rain hits Whimsicott, I think I'm winning this game. I'm pretty sure. They don't go for Encore. They go for Moonblast into Gholdengo. It doesn't even matter. I just need to Make It Rain, have the 95% chance to connect on the Whimsicott. Poison Jab, oh, it fails. That gives me another out. It gives me another big out here. As I go for Make It Rain, I hit both, and that's gonna do it, yeah. Yeah, Encoring them into Poison Jab is ultimately the difference maker here. Really tight game, really tight game. Yeah, really scary. This Garchomp caused me a lot more trouble than I expected. They have Charizard still. Gholdengo's at -2, but it's more than done its job. Tailwind ends. Clever game plan, bringing the Charizard and the Raichu. I think it makes a lot of sense. Charizard comes back out, Sun is back up. So Gholdengo ended up being the Pokemon that won us the game here, but I don't know if that's like, I don't know if it was like the right choice. Okay, I think game 2, let's not do that again. I think we want to lead with our Whimsicott this time around. I think let's do Whimsicott plus Vasculegion. Let's try and get Tailwind early, and then let's go for Raichu in the back with Garchomp, I think. I was kind of fortunate they didn't bring Ninetales. It makes sense. They probably don't have Ninetales for this matchup because I don't have any weather, but it is actually pretty good into my team. I would expect them to recognize this. Let's try Whimsicott, Basculegion in the lead with Raichu and Nope, not Goldingo. Garchomp in the back. This seems correct to me. We really want to focus on speed control with this team, and I think it's fine to lead Goldingo as long as you're able to threaten like pressure with Zap Cannon, but because they also have Raichu, I wasn't able to. So, okay, let's try this. Whimsicott, Garchomp. That's not a great lead for me at all. I feel like I've been outled once more. As I lead Whimsicott and Basculegion. So the nice thing is they can't protect themselves, right? Okay, I think Moonblast plus Aqua Jet has a good chance to kill. Let's just force them to go for Tailwind here, I think. Although this does seed speed control. This is basically saying I think you're not going for Tailwind. I think you're going for Moonblast, which is maybe not the right call here. Okay, they're not going for Tailwind. They're going for Moonblast. So the only way I think that this goes bad is that they live Moonblast. They move first. Please don't drop. Please don't drop. My God, please don't drop. Please don't drop. It's only 10%. Okay. They win the speed tie. They do a lot of damage, but Moonblast comes out. I think that's going to be the end of Garchomp, who was the most threatening Pokemon last game. Good. Okay, Garchomp is down. So this is good, but it's also not great because I do still have to contend with this Whimsicott. They go into Charizard. Okay. I think I'm supposed to just go for Tailwind here plus Wave Crash is an option. They could go for Encore, but Encore is okay here, I think. Let's go Tailwind plus Wave Crash. Maybe, yeah, let's Wave Crash. I'm Mystic Water. It could backfire. My thought process is basically if they want to go for Solar Beam, then I can Encore them the following turn into Solar Beam, which isn't like so scary for me. Of course, they could win a speed tie as well. But yeah, I think that this is okay because I got rid of their Garchomp, which now means it's somewhat difficult for them to beat my Garchomp. But I mean, it depends on if they have Alolan Ninetales in the back or not. Oh, they actually protect, interestingly enough. So are they encoring me? Hopefully I move first. I get the Tailwind up. That's very, very good. It depends on if they're going for Tailwind or Encore though, or Moonblast. Oh, they're going for interesting. They're actually going for Moonblast to take the KO. It makes sense. The only thing is that, okay, I have Wave Crash active. I could go into Garchomp here, but I could also go into Raichu. I could go Raichu and I could go Zap Cannon plus Wave Crash. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna go Raichu here. I could also go Fake Out Last Respects, but I think that Mega Evolve, Zap Cannon, and Wave Crash in the same slot. Yeah, I think this is okay. I think Raichu will probably come in here is my guess, but they might not have it, and it wasn't especially good last game, so I think they might have left it behind. So I think that like if they have Raichu as well, my Garchomp becomes very powerful, and I'm thinking like if Charizard switches out, then it will go like then the Raichu dies to Wave Crash, so the Whimsicott has to switch, in which case even if Charizard lives the Zap Cannon, they're still not in great position. Like it's still somewhat awkward for them as far as I can tell at least. Because then I can start like yeah, because I also have speed advantage. Okay, they actually stay in here and they just protected. So let's see what they go for. My instinct is that they may not have. Oh, this Whimsicott's actually faster than my Raichu. I made myself too slow. I may have made a mistake. Okay, here's the Mega Evolution. I don't think they're living Zap Cannon here. I could be wrong, but I really don't think so. Which means we also break the focus session on Whimsicott. Let's see what they go for here. Let's see if it's Tailwind or Encore. Zap Cannon, it's Moonblast. They just keep Moonblasting me. It's the end of Charizard. This is good, but it's not great because I don't think the crit mattered. It means our last Pokemon is most likely Alolan Ninetales, which is very scary. Wave Crash comes out. I am grateful to break the Sash on the Whimsicott. It actually still does a lot of damage. I wish I'd gone for Last Respects, but I didn't know I was going to be able to pull that off. And they go for Moonblast into Raichu. Ugh, this could definitely be bad. Okay, I take it decently well. And by that, I mean not well at all. I lost half my health. What am I saying? Basculegend. Okay, cool. This is good for me. This is definitely good. I go Zap Cannon into Basculegend, and I Last Respects into the Whimsicott. But if they... Yeah, because yeah. This is assuming that Last Respects will KO Whimsicott, but I think it will. It's obviously max offensive. I think I'm in an advantage state. I think Raichu in Tailwind is just too powerful right now. They protect Basculegion, so let's see what they go for. Are they going for Tailwind? They need to go for Moonblast, I think. Oh, they Encore me. Ooh, that is not good for me. That is not good for me. We need Wave Crash to hit the Whimsicott here. It's a 50-50. Zap Cannon is blocked. Who does Wave Crash connect with? It's blocked as well. I think I lose on a double protect now. Should I play around it? So, okay, here's the situation. I can Zap Cannon here, which would be good, but it's my last turn of Tailwind. But like basically my thought process is that I have a 2/3 chance of winning if I do this. Say they go for the double. They go for the double, but they fail it. Yeah, okay. I could have read it. Maybe it was better to read it. I just figured that like the odds were in my favor this way. Here's Zap Cannon. That should take out Basculegion in one. Raichu, very powerful. Yeah, in order to lose this, they would have needed the double, and they needed to get what they did get, which is the 50-50 on the Wave Crash targeting. So they're now down to 29 HP. I will lose my Raichu on this turn, but I think that I have enough left in the tank to win. Although actually, yeah, I should win because they can't deal with Basculegion. Like I was thinking like yeah, Garchomp could miss, right? Oh, Raichu actually tanks it. Good job, Raichu. Okay, if I was gonna tank it, then it wasn't such a bad trade-off anyway for me, I think. But yeah, we'll go for Zap Cannon, try and close it out, and Wave Crash to close it for real, because I'll probably die to Moonblast. So yeah, they forfeit. GG. Scary team, super scary team. Yeah, Raichu mirrors are a bit awkward, and especially the fact that the Charizard lived to double up. That's pretty crazy. But yeah, no, I feel like we did a good job of prioritizing Tail in that game. So what are we now? What round is this? 4-1, I think. So there's 2 rounds left. We need to win both of them to even have a chance at top cut. So yeah, doing our best, hanging in there. Well, let's see what round 6 brings. Alrighty, folks, we're here with round 6, and it is once again a Raichu, Mega Raichu Y mirror match. This one is interesting though because it has Choice Scarf Tyranitar as well as Frostlass as a secondary Mega, and then Focus Sash Basculegion, Tailwind, Protect Corviknight, and Sylveon with Fairy Feather and Hyper Voice and Hyper Beam. The one thing I noticed here is that my Goldengo hits a lot of these Pokemon for big damage, especially if I can get it to +2. So I do kind of like my default lead of Raichu Goldengo here. One big thing to note is that this is actually fake out Raichu, which is different than the other Raichus we've fought so far. I kind of like Whimsicott plus Goldengo here, but also I'm a little bit worried about certain leads. It's kind of tricky. I think I'll do 1, 2, 3, 4 like this. See if that works. Garchomp or Basculegion? Maybe I should bring Basculegion here. Garchomp is better against, I should bring Basculegion, I think, because I think I might want the priority. Yeah, this is worse defensively, but they don't have Tailwind, and I think that's kind of important. It is Aurora Veil and the Frostlass. The good news is that they can't bring both Frostlass and Raichu, and I really do think that they want Raichu here, although they can bring Raichu and just use it as a Lightning Rod user. Okay, let's see what they lead with. The biggest threat in this team, in my opinion, is the Basculegion. They lead Frostlass Corviknight, so I'm immediately punished for... Oh, they could Shadow Ball me here. I'm immediately punished for going for my not Raichu lead. So I'm gonna Protect here. Okay, my options are Protect Nasty Plot, or I could also Tailwind Shadow Ball. I think Tailwind Shadow Ball is reasonable here. I don't want to drop my special attack. This gives me Encore pressure on the following turn. They don't have that many good switch-ins to Ghost moves. Their best option is Tyranitar, but the thing about bringing in Tyranitar is that then they're in super big danger from my, whatever it's called, from my Make It Rain. So okay, I could have protected here, but I think this is okay. I go for Tailwind. Get Tailwind up. It is a little bit concerning that I'm likely about to lose my Whimsicott, but I think this is okay, all things considered. They go for Tailwind as well, so now I have Encore pressure on both Pokemon. Yeah, them getting Tailwind up is not great for me. I'm gonna Encore the Frost. I think they're gonna switch Frostlass out, right? I think I'll Encore the Frostlass and go for Nasty Plot here. This is definitely not a great start though, is what I would say. They could stay in with Frostlass, it's totally possible. If I lose my speed control though, I might have some trouble later. Yeah, I could be in some danger, I think, if like Tyranitar switches in here and they Brave Bird. Let's see if one of their mons switches out. I'm obviously gonna Encore one of these Pokemon. They switch Corviknight out, so I actually make the correct play. They go into Basculegion. Okay, that's good for me, I think. They go for the Mega Evolution into Frostlass, so I made the right call here. We've seen 3 of their 4 Pokemon as well, which means they can't have both Raichu and Tyranitar in the back. They go for the Encore here, which is very good. They go for, oh, they get the double. That's really bad for them. That's really, really bad for them because now they have to switch out or face a terrible fate. The problem is that my Goldengo is actually slower than this Basculegion, which is not great. This is Focus Sash Basculegion, so it's unlikely to have any bulk. So my Goldengo Make It Rain will do about 60. Well, Whimsicott Moonblast, it's likely to KO here. It's pretty likely to KO, but it isn't technically guaranteed. Moonblast here seems reasonable, and I could Shadow Ball or I can Make It Rain, try and get the Basculegion. Although, if Corviknight comes in here, this actually isn't so good for me, right? Yeah, I think I should have Shadow Balled instead, because what I really need to hear is speed control. Anyway, Moonblast the Basculegion, which should do good damage. That should be in range. That's guaranteed in range. They go for Last Respects, but this is 0 stack, so I doubt I die. Okay, I did not know for sure, is what I will say about that. I was not positive that I would survive there. Okay, Mega Rain comes out. This should definitely get the KO. Great, actually good damage in Corviknight as well. Just Corviknight has leftovers, but no other recovery. My Goldengo is now back to neutral special attack, which is not ideal. But I think the important thing here is that my Whimsicott's full HP. And the way that I'm gonna win this game is by saving Whimsicott to get a second Tailwind up while denying their second Tailwind. So I think overall, this is still pretty favorable for me. I have Basculegion in the back. I've taken a hit from their Basculegion. We've confirmed that their Basculegion is faster. This is the last turn of Tailwind. So I think what I can do here is actually just slow down the pace, protect with both my Mons, and then we're gonna try and deny a second Tailwind. So do you think this Corviknight feints to Shadow Ball? The Make It Rain did a lot. I must have high rolled the Make It Rain. I did 65%, 66%. That doesn't even look possible. They must have no special bulk at all, and they're not max HP. Okay. Anyway, they go for Blizzard here. Let's see what Corviknight goes for. It has Protect, so I need to watch out for that. Brave Bird, Iron Head, Tailwind, Protect. And they go for Brave Bird. into Whim. So now I have the ability to go for a second Tailwind here, and I can Shadow Ball either slot. I want to go for the Corviknight, but I actually think it's okay to go for the Frostlass here. Like, I don't want to take a Blizzard, right? It's kind of ambiguous. I'm thinking if they protect this turn, I can just Shadow Ball next turn. That's probably okay. Let's Tailwind Shadow Ball. Let's force them to make a defensive play. My thought process here is that if they go for Protect plus Tailwind, like they did before, they risk just losing the game on the spot. So they might choose to attack with both Pokemon. Okay, yeah, this is what I expected. I thought they might choose to attack with both Pokemon because they understood that if they got the call wrong, they would lose on the spot, but I don't know if this is much better. Let's see if Shadow Ball KOs. I didn't run the damage calc. I just figured it would get it, yeah. And if the Corviknight goes for Tailwind now, they're gonna have a lot of trouble, I suspect, getting through my Whimsicott, who has Encore. Let's see, they could go for Brave Bird as well. They do Brave Bird. Into Goldango, it seems. Interesting. Okay, well, that's not bad. Yeah. And now, okay, I can go into my Raichu. So they either have Tyranitar or Sylveon or Raichu in the back. Raichu seems like the best bet, right? The only advantage, yeah, let's do Raichu, because I have Tailwind up. They go into Raichu. Okay, this is what I thought. What happened? So let's do this. Let's non-Mega fake out the Corviknight and Moonblast. If I don't Mega Evolve, their Raichu cannot touch my Basculegion. Here's my Fake Out. 4%. They go for Fake Out as well. Okay, now I can Encore them if I want. How much do you think Raichu does here with Focus Blast? It should get the KO actually. Not guaranteed, but yeah, okay. I'll go for Mega Evolve and I'm gonna Encore the Raichu here. They need to protect and I guess Iron Head and get the KO. I think anything else is a loss for them. I just feel like I'm so far ahead. Maybe this is wrong. You could argue that there were more optimal plays that I could go for. Like there may have been a world where I'm supposed to actually, there may have been something silly I'm supposed to do here, but anyway, they protect Raichu. Okay, so if they go down to Focus Blast, the game is over. Without a doubt. Encore fails. Door is blocked, I should say. Mega Raichu goes for a Focus Blast. This should KO, probably. Yeah, if it gets it. Okay, cool. And that'll do it. Cool. Yeah, I think a pretty good game one, in my opinion. Yeah, I think we navigated the early game very well and kind of just converted from there. Yeah, I think our Goldango lead was just very powerful, and getting rid of the Basculegion early was good as well. But yeah, I think also it helped that we got like the call correct on the Frostlass. So here's Moonblast, does about half, over half actually. So this Raichu doesn't appear to be very bulky. It's probably just max realistically. This Focus Blast finishes it off. Yeah, this is something we've seen twice now, is opponents who are trying to use non-Mega Raichu to stop our Mega Raichu. But the thing is that Focus Blast is still powerful. And the way that we're playing Raichu is often as a secondary threat with Goldango. And so if Goldango is actually the threat, then base Raichu doesn't really do anything there. What do I expect the adaptation to be? I do feel like Corviknight was pretty good. I think that if you're bringing Corviknight, they probably want Raichu because it's just such a liability otherwise. I kind of liked my lead, to be honest. Although I should consider that they could lead with something like Tyranitar this time, right? Although the thing about Choice Scarf Tyranitar is it doesn't seem that threatening to me. Tyranitar is definitely a Pokemon that I should be worried about though. I kind of like the Mons I brought. Yeah, I kind of like the Mons I brought. The only alternative is if I want to consider leading with, Basculegion instead. It was better if they lead Tyranitar, which is kind of what I'm expecting. Let's just do this. Let's just run it back. Let's see what their adaptation is. I think it should be somewhat hard for them to stop. Like I'm expecting Tyranitar Corviknight this time, but even that's not so good for them, right? Does Goldango get Tyranitar if it's like not bulky? No, it actually does not. Okay. Raichu Core are the leads. Okay, here's the thing about this. Yes, they have Fake Out pressure, but the thing is that neither of these Pokemon is capable of touching my Goldango when Raichu is next to it. So I'm allowed to just click Nasty Plot here. Yeah, just set up for free. There is literally no punish for this. They have to pivot around and get their like sweepers in play, which maybe is their game plan, but it's pretty risky in my opinion. They basically need to hard switch Raichu out this turn, I think. And they need to go into something like Frostlass, who I don't think Frostlass gets the one-hit KO, honestly, into my Goldango. Oh my god, I was on the wrong one. But yeah, no, it doesn't get the one shot. Okay, cool. So I have Raichu in. They are going to Mega Evolve. That is very risky because now they don't have Lightning Rod anymore. They do not have Lightning Rod, so they're actually incapable of doing damage here to my Goldango at all. They go for Zap Cannon. They give my Raichu a special attack boost. I'm +1 now. That is really dangerous. If they don't go for Tailwind this turn, I think the game is over. Like, honestly, I think the game is over. They go for Iron Head. My god, that did a lot of damage. Is that a crit? Huh? Okay. Okay, let's just think about how we want to convert this then. Because we have base Fake Out here that we can go for, and Shadow Ball. This is somewhat difficult to punish. The problem is that both Pokemon have Protect, right? So I can't, there's no guaranteed play for me to make here. I think Fake Out Shadow Ball seems reasonable to me. They protect Raichu, okay. That's okay. They protect both, all right. So, now what? I think I want to deny Tailwind here. which I am actually able to do. They're faster than me. Do you think I died of Focus Blast? Probably, right? So I think what I want to do then is actually switch. Should I switch Raichu out or should I just accept? I'm going to Protect. I don't love this play, but I'm out of time to find the better one. Let's go for Shadow Ball into the Corviknight. This should be really hard for them to deal with. Protect from Raichu. Let's see if they go for another Zap Cannon or if it's Focus Blast this turn. It is Zap Cannon, so good thing I didn't switch out. I wish I'd gone for non-Mega Zap Cannon. That would have been cool. But I think we can see their game plan now because this looks very good, of course, but it's actually not as good as it looks because now they're going to go into Basculegion. And the thing about them going into Basculegion is that this time, unlike last time, I don't have the speed advantage and they already have a stack of Last Respects. Yeah, exactly this. So I think what I'm supposed to do here is go into Whimsicott and protect myself. This is difficult, but not impossible for them to punish. I think I have to make a call on the next couple turns. Go into Whims. I go Protect. Let's see what they go for with the Raichu. Is it Focus Blast this time? Focus Blast this time. Okay, that's good for me, I guess. They go for, do they double it? Ah, that's real bad for me. That's really, really, really bad for me. They totally got me. Yeah, okay, I think I just lose now, unfortunately. I'm gonna go into Basculegion, but yeah, I needed to sacrifice Raichu there, I guess. Yeah, that was a really nice play. Okay, now, is there any way to win this anymore? It doesn't really feel that way, right? They're gonna go Zap Cannon into one and Last Respects into the other. I can go Last Respects into Basculegion, but without Tailwind up, I think this is a I think I'm losing this. Yeah, wow, okay, they really got me this time with Mega Raichu. It's funny because I felt like I really navigated the early game correctly, but by not getting speed control up, I messed up. Yeah, it's surprising because my leads were really good. Like my lead was super, super good. But yeah, my Goldengo being slower than their Basculegion makes this quite difficult. They actually switched Raichu out preemptively into Sylveon. I think this is winnable. Like, really, truly, I believe this to be winnable. Go for Last Respects. I got the call correct. I sack off my Raichu. Oh, wait. I got the call correct, but at what cost? This isn't good for me. Wait a second. It may be winnable, though. I get them down to Sash. I forgot that I was sacking Raichu this turn. Okay. So they have full access to whatever it's called. Okay, I can still win this. It's actually winnable. Okay, ready? So the play is, I have to make a call between Nasty Plot and Make It Rain. I think I go Aqua Jet and Make It Rain. Although do I even get the Sylveon? And do you think Sylveon one-shots my Basculegion? If I go Aqua Jet and Nasty Plot, I'm gonna go for Nasty Plot. Oh, this could be bad. Maybe this was too obvious. Maybe I was supposed to just KO the Sylveon here. I don't actually know if I get the Sylveon. I assume I don't, but maybe I do. They protect Basculegion. Okay, I wasn't gonna get the Sylveon without a little help. So this is probably, oh, they detect. They detected. Oh, hello, gorgeous. Okay, now I have Aqua Jet. Okay, hang on a second. It was over, but now we're back. Let's go for Nasty Plot. Okay, let's go for, I think the same play again. Aqua Jet, no, not the same play. Aqua Jet, Make It Rain. I don't know why, I guess they were trying to bait a Protect, but I thought that Nasty Plot was needed to get the Sylveon, which it is. The thing is, they can't switch here. Their best play is to go for Aqua Jet and Quick Attack, I think, and just sack both. I think I can win this. Okay? I think I can win this. I'm pretty sure I'm winning. Unless Make It Rain misses Sylveon. They don't go for Aqua Jet. Okay, that's not what they needed to do, I think. Basculegion is down. It just comes down to whether or not this Make It Rain connects. It does. Okay, so here's why I think I'm winning this. Because obviously Raichu can one-shot my Basculegion. But even if it one-shots my Goldango, the thing is that Aqua Jet's a two-shot from this, unless they're very bulky, which I don't think they are. Like, it's a clean two-shot. The min roll against my Raichu, which is pretty bulky, is 56%. And so what I can do here is I can actually Aqua Jet Shadow Ball. And even if they KO one of my Pokemon, I don't need to make a read here. I can actually Aqua Jet, do over half, and if they KO Goldango here, well, then I can just Aqua Jet again. And if they don't KO Goldango, they have to deal with +2 Shadow Ball, or neutral Shadow Ball. But even still, with the Life Orb, this should definitely do enough. So despite the messy mid-game, I think we're coming out on top. Yeah, that's 65%. They can KO one of my Pokemon. They go after Basculegion. This will get the one-shot. You see the power of Mega Raichu. You see how much I had to scramble. But by outlasting it with 2 Pokemon, we're actually in a position where we're potentially going to win this. Shadow Ball comes out. And I don't think Raichu's living this. We're at neutral after the Nasty Plot. Raichu goes down. And somehow we win game 2. So I think with that, we're now 5 wins, 1 loss going into the final round of the tournament, meaning we're still in contention to top cut. I don't know if we're going to make it there, depending on resistance and all that. But I mean, listen, I'm quite happy to go 5-1 so far. So we'll see how the last round goes. But yeah, we're doing pretty well, I would say. Well, folks, it's the last round of Swiss, and I'm fighting against Perish Trap. I am fighting against Perish Trap, and I have Goldengo. So not something that I expected to be happening. The good news is that my Goldengo is very strong. They have kind of two clear paths through it. The first is that they have Encore Tinkaton with Mold Breaker, which I believe should allow them to ignore the good as gold ability. The second option is that they have Incineroar, who has Throat Chop, who is scary, but it's not gonna be able to one-shot my Goldengo. So basically, I think this game for me is about protecting the king more than anything else. Yeah, I think for me, this is about protecting the king. I don't think I could bring Floette here. The thing is that neither of my megas are clear state. Okay, the good news is that I have lots of good tools into Perish Trap. The bad news is that everything else is a little bit suspect for the matchup, I think. I do want to have Goldengo for sure. I think I want Whimsicott as well. Maybe not up front, but somewhere in the matchup. Basculegion is also pretty good. Like, okay, their Gengar, all we know is that it's timid. Normally, Gengar will not run much special attack if it's on a Perish Trap team, which seems like a reasonable assumption. It could still kill my Basculegion. It will never kill my Goldengo. So Goldengo in Tailwind looks very good to me. The problem is that it's not so easy for me to get into a position where that is going to be easy for me to pull off. I have to watch out for Sableye, who can Encore Disable me. There's a lot of tricks on this team. Let's try 1, 2, 3, and 4. I do think Tailwind is somewhat important here. So let's just protect Trick Room. Gotcha. Okay. Hasib Berry. I don't know if this is the right Pokemon or the right order. I would really love to do Floette stuff. It just seems a little bit challenging. I think I just really need to be careful with my Goldengo here. I just need to make sure I don't get trapped, basically. Focus Sash Tinkaton, which implies it should be faster than my Goldengo, so I need to be careful. Yeah. They go Gengar and Incineroar. This is what I expected. Does their Gengar live my Shadow Ball? There's no way, right? No, definitely not. Okay. And I have Raichu plus Goldengo here. So I have Focus Blast available from Raichu. Gengar just licked his lips, bro. I don't hate this play. Protect, Mega Evolve, and Focus Blast. They're gonna Mega Evolve as well. They have Disable on the Gengar, Shadow Ball, and Perish Song. So I think it's fine because I can't die to Shadow Ball, right? I'm gonna Mega Evolve Raichu. Getting damage on this Incineroar is the most important thing. I maybe should have gone for Zap Cannon, or I maybe should have gone for something else. I just feel like with Goldengo on the field, okay, they protect. This is what I was hoping for. So they could go for a Throat Chop here, or they could go for a Parting Shot into my Raichu, which would be scary, but it would mean getting their Incineroar off the field, which doesn't seem very good to me. So I'm gonna go for Focus Blast. This is because they have Lumberry, otherwise I would have just gone for Zap Cannon and gotten the Para. They do 71%, that's good damage. That is gonna be close to in range of something else, and they go for Throat Chop. Okay, that's great, that's great. My Goldengo is still full HP. Their Incineroar is now at 29%. I have a Shadow Ball play here, and I can go for Zap Cannon here. This is to get around a potential Disable as well as a Switch. I guess they could bring in Sinistcha here, but then they'd lose their Berry, and they would still die to Focus Blast, and maybe, honestly, maybe Zap Cannon. But I feel like that's a very good turn one. I really couldn't have gotten any better. Okay, they switch Incineroar out, actually, so it's going to be another Pokemon taking the Zap Cannon. It is Tinkaton, so Tinkaton now going to take a Zap Cannon. If Gengar goes down here, they're going to be in really big trouble. This team, like, requires Gengar to win. They need to crit me with Shadow Ball here. Okay. Close, very close, but I do survive. I'm gonna go for Zap Cannon here, get the KO, nope, get half of Tinkaton, bring it down to its, well, to below half, and then I go for Shadow Ball here, and this should kill the Gengar. If it doesn't, we're in some trouble. We get the Gengar, okay, great. So this is basically what I expected. Goldengo gets Gengar and survives Shadow Ball. Now, it's not necessarily over, but it is good for me, right? They have two Pokemon who are severely low, or severely damaged. Raichu's still popping off, and I have Basculegion as a secondary form of offense here. So I do think that the advantage is in my corner right now. Here's Primarina. So the thing about Primarina coming in here is that if they are able to put items on Primarina, leftovers, do you think it lives? Is there any chance that it survives? Oh wait, they have Fake Out on this turn. Wave Crash Protect seems reasonable here. We just need to make sure we don't lose a Pokemon like needlessly, because they can win if they get a KO. Instinct comes out, they're gonna go for the Intimidate into my Raichu here. I protect my Raichu. Yeah, as long as Basculegion doesn't die here, this is Sassy Primarina, so it actually might survive a hit from my Raichu. I'm actually shocked they went for this play. Anyway, we get rid of Incineroar. Let's see what Primarina goes for here. Primarina, let's say it's max bulk with Sassy. Is there a chance that it lives Zap Cannon? If it's max bulk, yes. There's a small chance. They go for Perish Song. So now Primarina's dead in a couple turns, regardless. So I think I'm supposed to switch Raichu out here. Yeah, because they did not trap me. They were not successful in trapping me. Tinkaton will come back in. I can go for Last Respect for the KO. Technically, Wave Crash is stronger. I think -1 Last Respect should still get the KO on Tinkaton. But I guess also the recoil. Like if I get the attack off, then I win the game anyway. So let's go for Wave Crash here, and let's switch into Whimsicott here. This will force me to reveal my last Pokemon, but that is okay. Actually, this is technically not optimal. This is the wrong plan. So this is just attack with Raichu here because Whimsicott is Sash, so it will never lose a 1 versus 1 here with Protect. So this is technically this is not the right play, but it should be fine. I go for Wave Crash. That should be the end of Tinkaton. Now I just have to wait for the Perish counter to run out, and I'll win the game. So, I mean, yeah, Goldengo looks pretty difficult for this team, is my impression. Here's Moonblast. This shouldn't do that much damage. They're not offensive in nature. This is flip turn Primarina, by the way. It's still a lot. Primarina is very strong. Okay, Perish counter at 2, and the battle is forfeited. Cool. So that went well. But I did get the turn 1 completely correct, right? And I think the question is, what happens if I do not get the turn 1 correct? I do think my lead is good. I do think I need to lead something that handles I definitely need to lead something that can handle the Incineroar. And I think my best bet to do that is probably Raichu. It's Raichu or Basculegion, but Basculegion can die to Shadow Ball, and I don't really want to, like, the goal is to not lose Pokemon, right? Is there a better lead for me here? Until I deal with Gengar, it can be a little bit dicey. There is a case to be made for having Whimsicott on the field, but I think this is probably correct. It's really hard for them to deal with Goldengo. Like, it's really, really difficult. Sash, Tinkaton with Protect and Encore. Fake out and Gigaton Hammer. I need to be careful. I might need to make a different turn 1 play, but yeah, let's run it back. I do think Raichu is good here because Raichu's good into the Incineroar and the Tinkaton. Whereas Floette is only really good into Incineroar and Sableye and the others. Okay, let's see what they go for here. Gengar Incineroar again. So Raichu Goldengo for me. Okay, so I think that this time I'm just gonna Shadow Ball outright, and I'm gonna go for a Focus Blast into Incineroar again. Mega Evolve, Focus Blast here, Shadow Ball here. My thought process is basically, if they go for the same Protect play this time around, then next turn I'll just go Protect and Zap Cannon. It's not ideal, but it's okay. They actually switch out here. So let's see who's coming in. It is Sinistcha. Ah, that's a clever move, because now I'm trapped on the field. So that's not ideal for me, is it? That's a good move. Yeah, I guess, yeah, they got me with the bait. I should have Zap Cannon just in case, I guess. But yeah, they got me. Okay, let's see what they go for here. If they don't Protect, they're in big trouble. It's also Cassib Berry Sinistcha, which is not super ideal, in my opinion. I can switch out, but how much good does that actually do me? Not enough, right? Okay, they do Protect. Okay, bad turn from me. Very bad turn from me. I can damage the Gengar, but I don't think that helps me all that much. Yeah, this is tricky indeed. Yeah, Sinistcha plus Gengar is difficult. And I still deal with the Incineroar on the back. So let's go for Zap Cannon here. This forces a Rage Powder, and we may as well just Protect, I think. Let's Protect here. They can go for Perish Song or Shadow Ball. It's just not that high reward for them. Here's Rage Powder. A Perish Song, actually. Okay. I don't think that's that bad for me. And maybe I'm being naive. If I make it rain, they would have been in huge trouble. So Raichu basically is under pressure now. I get Zap Cannon off. That's a lot of damage, actually. It's a lot of damage. Okay, that's good, because they don't have recovery. So if I were to go for Zap Cannon and make it rain, I would do quite a bit of damage. I'm gonna Zap Cannon again. Should I make it rain here? Because I could switch Goldengo out to avoid taking a Shadow Ball into Whimsicott. I feel like Whimsicott is less important here overall. Why don't I save Goldengo? If I get speed advantage. The other thing is that every turn I have a chance of getting a full para. And if I get the full para, then they're in major trouble. So they Rage Powder. They go for Rage Powder, so it goes off again. Let's see how they Shadow Ball this turn, or if they disable. They Perish Song again, actually. So they call it the Whimsicott coming in. But my question is, now what? Okay. I mean, I'm still full HP. They're at 2 on the Perish counter here. What is the plan? I guess the plan is to sack Sinistcha. But then something has to take Zap Cannon plus Moonblast. Let's Zap Cannon here. Let's Moonblast here. If we get rid of Sinistcha, we're in good shape. Maybe I should double the Sinistcha this turn. It probably doesn't matter all that much. My Raichu's nearly dead. They are playing very well, although they're also playing extremely risky. I guess this is probably a bad play, now that I think about it, because there's no reason that they should ever Shadow Ball here, right? So I should have either doubled the Sinistcha or I should have Tailwinded. The Perish counter's at 3 on Whimsicott and at 2 on Raichu and Sinistcha and Gengar. Yeah, this was a little bit optimistic, I think. They switched Sinistcha out, so that's probably Incineroar. Okay. They disable. You know, I made it wrong. Yeah, I could have done a lot better here. I could have encored the Perish Song. I could have done a lot of things. So my Raichu's just about dead. Is not ideal. And I think this turn they're going to go for what? Whimsicott's at 2, Gengar's at 1. I think let's double this thing. Yeah, I think I see how I can win this. I double the Incineroar on this turn with Moonblast, Focus Blast. I think Sinistcha might come in here. I mean, they could stay in with Gengar here and just let me have it, but I don't think they will. Yeah, they need to switch Gengar out this turn. And so that means I'll have at least a chance to get rid of the Perish counter. It's Primarina is the last. Okay, so I think I'm in okay shape. Here's Moonblast. We're going to get rid of the... We are going to get rid of the Incineroar here, which is good. That now means that getting through Goldango is basically all up to Gengar. So it's a 3 versus 3. I am about to lose my Whimsicott, which is not ideal. But here's why I think it's okay. Because I have Goldango left, what I'm able to do this turn is go into Goldango and click Tailwind Shadow Ball as Gengar comes in. They're going to protect in this turn, okay? And I guess go for Flip Turn or Moonblast. I can actually protect Goldango if I want to be a little cheeky. Here's Gengar again, great. So what this allows me to do is it allows me to go for Protect here and Tailwind. And with Incineroar down, I'm actually setting up for an endgame that I feel quite good about. So Protect plus Tailwind, this baits out the Protect from Gengar. I could Shadow Ball. This doesn't really feel worth it to me because I don't want to Death by 1,000 Cuts lose to Primarina. So I'm gonna Protect and Tailwind here, and maybe a little bit over ambitious. Like we could have gotten Gengar here if they don't Protect, but I think they will Protect. Okay, so make the right call. Gengar goes for Protect, Goldango goes for Protect, we go for Tailwind. Now they have two options with the Primarina. They can either Moonblast to try and get some damage on my Goldango, who they will need to beat eventually with raw damage, or alternatively, they can go for Flip Turn and try and get Sinistcha in. But the thing is that here, they go for Flip Turn, but it is into Goldango, which is what I expected. And now they're in really awkward shape because now the Whimsicott goes down, which is bad, but I get Tailwind up. And the reason why it's good that I get Tailwind up is because I have now my 2 Pokemon are faster than their 2 Pokemon. So even though I'm down 2 against 3, Goldango is immune to Perish Song. So they need to get rid of me the old-fashioned way. This means that this turn I'm allowed to go for Shadow Ball here, and I can go for Last Respects here into Primarina. I do not expect it to KO. So the other option is to hard read the Sinistcha switch in. But I think I can lose the game if that happens. So let's go for Shadow Ball into Gengar, which will get the KO regardless of whether or not Sinistcha switches in, and Last Respects. They switch Gengar out into Sinistcha. This is fine. Their most likely play this turn is to go for Perish Song. I go for Shadow Ball. This is the Kasib Berry, but thanks to Raichu's damage earlier with the 2 Zap Cannons, Sinistcha should be in range of Shadow Ball. Yep, it certainly is. Sinistcha goes down. Great. We now take 1 tick of Life Orb, which means we are most likely in range of Mega Gengar Perish Song, which is bad. Sorry, Mega Gengar Shadow Ball as Life Orb activates here. I do not think Primarina will go down to a 2-stack Last Respects. I would love to be wrong here. I have Max Attack Adamant. That's going to be the game. Yep. Okay. And with that, we win. Yeah, we certainly win. There's no way to win anymore. God, Basculegion is just so strong. What I was worried about here is that they might have been able to stall out Tailwind. And if they stall out Tailwind, then yeah, it was possible that Gengar could Shadow Ball, get the 1-shot on Goldango. And so, yeah. But yeah, by getting Goldango in at Tailwind as Whimsicott went down and Basculegion next to it, thanks to the damage I did earlier, I was able to win. So yeah, it's very difficult for Perish teams to beat Goldango in general. And I think that set showcased a little bit why, though they did play well. So yeah. Anyway, with that, we are now 6 wins, 1 loss in the Swiss portion of the event. It's not guaranteed that we top cut because this is a weeknight tournament. It's only a top 8 cut. So like going into the round, I was 12th. And there were a fair few people ahead of me and also a fair few below. Like up until 19th was people who had 1 loss. So there's a chance I missed, but I will report back when the standings are out regardless. I'm keeping my fingers crossed that I'll be able to make it. Okay, the last round is finished and the standings are now up. In order to advance to the top cut, I needed to finish 8th or better. My final placement was 9th. I did not make top 8 on Resistance, on Tiebreaker. I'm a little bummed because I do think this tournament was one where I could have gone all the way. Outside of my Trick Room matchup, I felt like most of my matchups were pretty favorable, but I can't be that disappointed. It was a fun tournament. It took place on a weekday afternoon. It's already, late in the evening now. I totally understand that for logistical reasons, it didn't make sense to have a bigger top cut. That being said, I was pretty impressed with Raichu. It did very well all day. I feel like Raichu and Goldango were my MVPs across the tournament. I'm excited to use it more as the format develops. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, I can recommend the last online tournament I entered, where I used a team built around Mega Halucha and the one-hit KO strategy.